on tour in August. Irvine, Dayton, Seattle, Richmond. Today's guests from the movie Super Troopers Beer Fest and the Broken Lizard Comedy Group, Kevin Heffernan and Steve Lemme. Go to Bert.com.
This is the Bertcast.
All right.
I'll tell you what, that tap, the TV, the double TV is phenomenal. When I saw the tap in here, I knew this was the ultimate man cave.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty great. It's it's super hard. Like I'm on a cleanse right now, and so
because you were on the road, and now
I was on the road for 4 weeks, and it was
hardcore.
You didn't come home at all, or it
no,
was just 4
I was
weekends
gone. I was 4 weeks out, and then I go out. I'm in Montreal for a week, and then I go out for a real long time. Like,
and when you're on the road, do you hardcore, like a lot of drinking, a lot of crappy eating?
I think for the majority of people that live pedestrian lives would be shocked.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's like, and then I knew I was starting this cleanse, so I kind of blew it out like the last couple days.
Right,
blew it out your ass.
Yeah.
What cleanse are you doing?
It's called the Clean Program. I did it before. I lost 40 pounds.
Holy shit! Really?
It's the greatest fucking.
In what period of time?
It's 17 days.
No, shut up. That's like bulimia or something.
No, it's just you put your diet intake to roughly like about 1,200 calories. 1,500 calories a day. You do a juice in the morning, a juice at night. Snacks like a rice cake with almond butter or rice cake with. I found out the older I get, and my daughter's going through some issues like developmental stuff. So we're taking her to an occupational therapist, and we found out that it's the same shit I have. Like it's called a hot singlet.
What's that?
It sounds like a wrestling term.
Yeah.
A gay one at that.
Yeah.
Well, that's a hot singlet.
Yeah, that's a hot singlet you got in there.
So no, it's basically. I don't know what kind of. You guys were good students. You guys went to like a good school and stuff.
Colgate.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we're good students though.
I was not a good
Lemme
student.
didn't graduate.
I dropped out.
You did?
Yeah, my senior year. That's a bad student.
I almost didn't graduate. I was in. I assume. I'm almost only assuming you guys know nothing about me because I've known who you were
we know
for a
about you.
long time.
I know about you.
But
you were like on the 10-year plan in college.
Yeah. I was there for like 7 years, and then but I had to.
You're Van Wilder, is what we understand.
Fuck. So, but I had to go to New York and take correspondence classes through the Florida State prison system.
No shit.
Oh,
really?
so fucking hard. Because my dad's like, whatever you do, you got to get your degree.
Okay.
But I'd already started stand up. I already moved to New York to start stand up. So I moved to New York, and they sent me a box of books. And they're like, these are your 6 credit hours, or I think it was like, I want to say 6. And I had to read all the books and then write papers on all the.
Oh, that sucks.
One book is on Viking longships, an entire book on Viking longships.
Sounds exciting.
I want to just mail the book back to this person and go, this is the only person interested in Viking longships. Read his book. Don't read my fucking report.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so I was fucking. And then, yeah. So, anyway, you guys were Beta Theta Pies.
We were Beta Theta Pies.
Big potato pies.
Were you in a fraternity?
Yeah. That's one of the things. It's like it's so funny. Like I came across you guys. My buddy Lorenzo.
Lamas.
Nope. Although he is randomly a friend now because one of my buddies produces a show. So I met him at a party, and I was like, Lorenzo Lamas. He's gorgeous. He's gorgeous, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one of our buddies did that show. Did what's it?
Yeah.
Joe Schmo.
Yeah. Who was your buddy?
Mike Weaver.
Okay,
the redheaded dude.
My buddy's the executive producer.
Okay.
John Moore.
He was the actor on camera, and they almost busted him because like the dude recognized him the first day from Super Troopers.
Shut up.
That's our
Wait,
buddy.
he was a redhead from Super Troopers?
Yeah.
Oh wait,
and he's in the house. He's one of the guys in the house, the Joe Schmo
shut
house
up.
or whatever.
Yeah, he played. You know, it's like in the commercial, they're like the asshole. There's Mike Weaver. First episode, the guy was like, "I know you," and then they show a clip of him. He's one of the local cops in Super Troopers.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He was great in that show.
And he became friendly with Lorenzo Lamas too, I guess, from that thing.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, apparently.
He played a nice guy in Greece back in 1978.
Hold on. Lorenzo Lamas was in Greece. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Lorenzo Lamas is the blonde-haired jock.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Yeah. I forgot about that.
He brings him into the.
This
into
is
the diner.
like renegade long hair. Like this is like blonde good guy.
Okay,
California boy.
Be honest. Do you think he kind of screwed it up? I would have stayed blonde hair, blue. That character was gorgeous.
But you think he screwed up with Renegade, or
I would have stayed blonde hair, blue eyes, and just rolled the dice on that one and see if he could be the next Steve McQueen.
Yeah, I mean, could be. Although it's like he was going up against Travolta as Danny Zuko, and there is nobody cooler than that. I won't have it. Bert, I won't have it.
Well, who's cooler today?
Lorenzo Lamas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
But Travolta has had a better.
hold on, let's start that over. Who's cooler if you could get them to come unhinged? Like if you could see real behind the curtain Travolta,
Oh.
Yeah.
you and him in a 747 in the cockpit just by
Yeah.
yourselves,
Yeah.
bottle of whiskey opened.
Dude,
I don't know.
I
don't
know
if
a
Travolta's
guy
He's a
who's got that-
Scientologist. I don't know if he's a big drinker. Or
I want to get behind the curtain with Travolta. That would be awesome.
dude, a friend of mine had that scenario. He was on the plane with
So
Travolta.
every time, just so you guys know, every time you hear this voice, it's Steve.
This is Steve.
Okay.
This is Steve. This is, and I cannot out the guy. I can't say the guy's name because
Okay.
he is a respectable journalist, and he was interviewing Travolta, and he was on Travolta's private plane. This is dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Travolta was piloting it. It was just the two of them on the plane, and Travolta. This is a friend of mine. Okay.
Okay.
Travolta.
So no bullshit.
Travolta threatened to crash the plane if the dude wouldn't suck his dick.
I gotta wait until the nosedive starts.
And then he put the plane on autopilot because the guy had interviewed him before and was like, and I guess had been through this a couple of times. It was like, John, shut the fuck up! I'm not sucking your dick. Let's do the goddamn interview. So listen, it could be because I might do that to you if I had a plane. If I had
Just
a
to
plane,
fuck with him.
I might say I'm crashing
Yeah.
the plane unless you suck my
suck-
dick.
Yeah, I definitely would. Like if I did have a plane, I might do that
That's
totally.
the power you have.
Yeah.
Just to see who immediately does it.
Especially if you got a big plane with a bed in the back.
Yeah.
And that voice you just heard there is Kevin. Kevin,
me. I'm
and
the more grating
Steve.
voice.
I am the worst at interviewing people on podcasts because I never. You guys are both from Broken Lizard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys were the founding fathers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys both from Colgate.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies all time, and I will argue that a movie that doesn't do as well in the box office and better on cable will stand the time of being a better movie is
think
Club
that might be
Dread.
true.
Club Dread.
Thank you.
One of my favorite movies.
Love that
Thank
movie.
you.
Thank
And I'll tell you, like it's not something that if I had seen it in the theater, I might have been like, really. But man, when I fucking sit down in a hotel room and it's on, I watch it from beginning to end,
yeah.
and I laugh hysterically. Same thing with Malibu's Most Wanted. My
yeah.
buddy Nick wrote that movie, and
Nick Swartzen?
Yeah, Nick Swartzen.
Yeah, okay.
And,
Yeah, we're friends with Nick, yeah.
and Nick,
Yeah.
and if I had seen it in the movie theater, I would have been like, I had a dream about Jamie Kennedy last night. Oddly enough. Anyway,
Okay.
but when I saw it, I laughed so fucking hard. And the same things. I saw Super Troopers in the movie theaters and laughed out loud in the movie theaters.
Yeah.
That's one of the best openings to a movie.
Thank you.
You wrote it like a sketch. You wrote it like a great. You wrote a cold open to a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was based on a true story.
Oh, it was my wife. Send a voicemail.
Let the dog out.
Yeah,
Priscilla. Oh wait, Priscilla's the dog.
yeah. Pris is the dog and Leanne's the wife.
Is that
so wait,
a photo of Leanne? Okay.
yeah, that's
no one can see
Leanne
that.
up there.
Okay.
So wait, what do you mean it was based on a true story?
That was based on a true story. When we shot, a friend of ours has a cabin right on the border of Vermont and Canada.
Is that where you wrote the script?
No, but it was where we got inspired. It was one of the inspirations, and certainly this opening scene because there was a bachelor party up there, and this guy would have us up there all the time at his house, and we'd go into the Quebec province and like hit the strip joints, and so there's a bachelor party, and an RV was rented, and I think there were like 12 of us on the RV. And there were mushrooms for the entire bachelor party, and one guy had them.
Party favors.
Yeah, and so you
This is back when you could get off the grid and do mushrooms. Now that
Yeah.
I have kids, there's no
Yeah, you
doing
can't do it.
mushrooms.
You have to have a special time.
special time,
Yeah.
take a weekend, and so we were going up there to the checkpoint, and so you know what happens is they ask you where you're going, and you're like, hey, we're going to see some strip clubs. And that's it. Unfortunately, there was a joint on the dashboard of the RV, and they were like, "Okay, well, whose joint is this?" And nobody wanted to take credit, so like, "All right, everybody off the RV. We're going to search the RV." And so the one guy who was holding the mushrooms wound up eating all of them.
Took it for the team, man.
Took it for the team.
That is a soldier right there.
I know it, really.
Yeah. And so the question was, while everyone was in a holding cell, the question was, whose joint is this? Somebody has to claim the marijuana because it's in your possession. And nobody wanted to do it. Nobody knew what the punishment was going to be. So it's 4 hours in a holding cell, and this poor kid's eyes are just black. They are dilated as far as his eyeball will go. And finally, his brother was there on that trip too, and his brother finally felt so badly for him, he was like, "It's my joint." And they said, "Okay, well then your punishment is you're not allowed back in Canada for 10 years, eh?" And they sent us back to Vermont. And we were like, "Oh, that was the punishment?" But so we went.
No more kissing your dad goodnight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right.
But meanwhile, the dude shrooming his face off in a jail cell.
Yeah, shrooming for 4 hours in the jail cell, and then shroomed for another 36 hours straight because he'd done 12 doses of mushrooms, and his only complaint afterwards were like, how was it when he came out of it, was that his cheeks were sore from smiling so much. That was his only.
Shut up.
Yeah. So we thought that would be a great opening scene.
I gag watching. Well, I remember in the theater. I remember gagging watching that dude eat the weed.
Yeah.
And then eat the mushrooms.
Yeah.
And then the best line: "You owe me cash for that."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was like, and you know what made me? You know what I loved about that movie? I'll tell you this. I'm not gonna say all your movies, but I'll say that movie distinctly because of when I saw it and when you guys made it.
Yeah.
That was the energy of, you can do this.
Yeah.
Like there was a theory like that everyone moved out here because you could do this. I moved out here because I could do this. You had that energy. I remember getting a development deal and asking one of the guys at the network, why do you even do television? Like
Yeah.
you can make movies like that.
Yeah.
John, did you guys watch Favreau, like Swingers and stuff, or is
Yeah,
that?
sure. Yeah.
That was right at the same time as our first movie, Puddle Cruiser, which
Yeah.
is the movie we made before Super Troopers. I mean, really, I think those are like the same.
There's similar time, but I mean, it was we definitely ran into those problems too, where it's like people try to stop you from making that kind of movie.
Yeah.
I mean, that movie was in development with studios, and ultimately we made it on our own. But like that opening scene, we were in development with one studio, and they tried to like totally turn that scene around. Because they're like, you can't, what were they like? You have to know the cops first. You can't come into the scene through the kids. And you're like, no, that's the point. You want it to be like you're in the
that's
car.
such a fucking horrible note.
Yeah.
They
And
said,
you're like,
we want to know we don't know who to root for
yeah.
if you don't start
And you're like,
with
no,
that.
no, you want to be in the car and you don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And so
It's the only time in the movie where you will get to experience what it's like to be pulled over by these guys with a clean slate.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, we left that studio and then we shot the movie.
Do you remember what their idea was?
Yeah, they pitched to us, why don't we go back and the first scene be meeting you guys as little kids. And then we'll get to know who you are.
What is this, Grown-Ups?
And then, and then we'll get to know who you are, and then boom.
It was like we'll have the little Thorny, the little Mac, the little Farva, and like he's got this personality, he's got this personality. Now we heard that idea, we're like, get fucked because that's stupid.
Do you guys get to, like, when you guys were writing a script, there's so many things that I know that I'm dying to know as someone don't do your business, but I've written scripts before,
Yeah.
and I've written scripts with friends. Do you guys get to pick your characters? Like, do you guys like?
Yeah. It changes from script to script.
It's an interesting question because on the first movie we made, Puddle Cruiser, we were probably like 24 when we were writing the script, and we didn't know what we were doing, and I think people got it in their heads that they might be playing certain parts, and so you see that it's just a natural thing where people start to like beef up their characters' roles, the characters they think they're going to play.
I want that joke.
Yeah, but nobody knew who they were going to play, and then we figured out who was going to play what, and certain people were a little bit chafed because they were
Really?
like, I had written these jokes for myself, and now it's going to this guy, and then we were like, okay, from now on, we're all just going to write these characters generically. When we wrote Super Troopers, we're just writing these characters. There's no one guy who's a tall Indian.
No one could have played Farva like you did.
Well, but we all auditioned for it.
Shut
Against
up.
each other. Like we wrote the script, right?
Yeah, we did a table read, and we each would take 20 pages reading different characters. And I was up next to read Farva after Heffernan, and I took myself out of the running after that. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna. I think it's clear. I don't need to volunteer.
That's such a great fit.
It's great douchebag character.
It's a perfect fit.
What do you mean?
Well, because we were all acting. Like I was like, I'm going to be a total dick and everyone's like, like being as obnoxious as they can, and you're just kind of reading it as yourself. It was just nice. Like my arm, he was sitting next to me, and it's like he's speaking his lines, and the arm hair on my arm was like fucking getting singed from the hot breath coming out of me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So so then after that, I think on Club Dread, we did kind of start to know what characters we were going to play, because it was like if it's taking place in Costa Rica, since I'm Hispanic, of Hispanic descent, I should play a Costa Rican guy.
Yeah.
And then and also Jay's character, we wanted to do the opposite. Like on Puddle Cruiser and Super Troopers, the problem Jay was having was that because he was a director and these were really shoestring budget movies, he was so high strung and tightly wound, and he would always be angry during the takes, and we'd have to walk up to him and be like, dude, like relax a little bit, like lighten it up.
Yeah.
Which, you know, obviously was a good thing but it was just hard for him.
Yeah.
And so Club Dread, we were like, we need to write a part for him where he is angry proof.
Yeah. Just a foppish British Rastafarian.
Yeah, with a Ponzi accent. Something that, like, no matter what is going on, he can just be in a good mood.
Yeah.
But there, you know, each thing has its pros and cons. I mean, you know,
But we try not to write for specific characters.
Do you guys? So, like, let's take it from like the beginning. Like, I know you guys are working on stuff now, but like, take it from the beginning. Does someone come up with an idea and go, "I have a movie pitch," and then you guys kind of like, or is it like?
But it's limited, like what you can do because
I'll say this. I know that one time, like I got into a development deal with, I forget who, but it was, what they did is they packaged together 5 comics, 5 stand-ups, and they were like, "We're going to get you guys to write a movie."
Guys that you knew, or did they put you together like?
I knew them, but they weren't like none of us were like
like the Monkeys.
It was right. It was like the Monkeys. It was so funny. They were like, "You
or
got
the Sex Pistols. Make it tougher. Make it tougher."
Yeah, the Sex Pistols. That's right. You know what's so funny is we had to pick a name for our writing team, and I wanted us to call ourselves the Gay Mafia. I was like, "What a great!" Have you read the script by the Gay Mafia? Everyone's like, "I knew they were real." What they did is they sat at a table with us, and they were like, "This is what's selling right now."
And so you didn't have the idea. They gave you the idea?
We each came up with ideas.
Okay.
My ideas are always...
I'm sorry, you don't know these guys that well, or you kind of knew
I knew one dude. I drank with one dude a lot.
Okay.
I'd known the other guy. I knew the chick. I knew of her. We all knew of each other.
Yeah, sure.
But none of us were like buddies.
Right, okay.
And it actually made the...
That's tough.
It made accepting notes difficult because people would get behind something and then you couldn't get them to change their mind.
Yeah, sure.
And then one of the guys, the guy that had the most experience, it's like a writer on Family Guy, was just like, "Fuck it." He's like, "You know what? Script's going to change 100 times. So whatever they fucking want, just do it." And I was like, "Fine, I don't care."
Yeah.
But so do you guys come up with the idea, or because it was weird when they were like, "This is what's selling," and I was like, "Oh, these were my ideas," and they were like, "That sounds great."
Yeah, no, I mean, like we're limited in like you can only come up with ideas that fit 5 dudes. Which is kind of weird. You know, it's like you're an astronaut crew or a basketball team or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of stuck in that world a little bit. And then...
By the way, 2 movies we haven't done yet, and we should give it a whirl.
I know. I'm throwing those out there.
Good ideas.
Thank you, man. But like, you know, usually it'll come like... it comes in different ways. But
See, like how my brain's like, or a bunch of guys that run a train on a girl.
or the gay mafia.
Yeah.
Right?
All good ideas.
This is really good idea. But it worked in different ways. Like a lot of times, it'll just be the 5 of us hanging out. Some funny idea will come up, and you'll start riffing on that. Like that's where Super Troopers came from. It was like us driving around on road trips and like either being high in the car or whatever it is, and being like, "What if we got pulled over right now?" And just that it grew out of there. You know?
There were a few pivotal moments for Super Troopers. That one, like the cops would pull you over, and you'd be talking shit, and then you'd instantly turn into a pussy.
Yeah.
The cop came up to the car, and we were like, "God, if these guys knew how stoned we were, like they could have fucked with us so badly." And and if they had a sense of humor too, like, and you knew somebody was stoned, you'd want to fuck with them and have a good time if they were cool. And then like there was one we always used to play, like the hypothetical game, because this is the summer when you and your buddies are going around to the weddings, and you're just like driving, every weekend you're in a car going to somebody's fucking wedding.
Yeah.
We're playing the hypothetical game, like what would you do if you saw a dude fucking a bear on the side of the road? And then you're like, wait a second, what would you actually do? And then like that, but that became like something that we actually, I guess when we were writing Super Troopers,
put the barefoot thing
we
in
put
there.
that in.
Yeah.
But then so.
But a lot of shit gets shot down. I mean, like
So then you
gotta
come up
get 5 guys on board.
So you guys come up with a guy. Someone hits a home run out of the park, and you're like, "This fucking idea is great." And then you go, "Great, this is the one we're working on." And then you like beat it out.
Well,
like,
sometimes we'll do 2. Like we'll split up the work and do 2 scripts at the same time. Like I think we did that when we did Beer Fest. Like Beer Fest was like we came out of Club Dread. It had failed at the box office. People ripped us for being like sophomoric and all this shit, and we were like, "Well, what are we gonna do next?" And our instinct was maybe like, hey, maybe we should be, more like, smarter or whatever it is.
Kevin was angry this day. We were all pretty angry. Like the box office receipts had just come in, and Club Dread opened against The Passion of the Christ. and we got the Lord fucking smote us so hard.
God, that's so funny. That was one of the few times I've been to the movie theaters in L.A.
Yeah.
And I went to Passions of the Christ that opening weekend.
Yeah.
And it was fucking packed.
Oh yeah.
And we would like our thing is
what a shit
it was
weekend.
a hard weekend. Yeah, it was a hard weekend.
because like
Because you didn't expect that. You know what I mean? Like
nobody did.
But you're walking into the movie theater. The other thing we did was like,
Had you known, you would have changed the
Aramaic.
marketing program. Jews feel like not having a bad
come
weekend.
on out.
Yeah, exactly.
But we walked into the theater in Times Square where we had done pretty well with Super Troopers, and there's like a lot of stoner dudes, and we're like, fucking awesome. This is going to be a perfect audience for us. And what had happened is like these church groups had bought all the tickets, and we're just standing at the door handing tickets out to people as they walked into the theater. And it's like, oh, there's a gaggle of dudes just going to see our movie, and then someone walked up and gave them free tickets to Passion of the Christ. They just went into that.
Five dudes walk in, baseball hats backwards, stoned to the gills. We're like, money in the bank, free tickets handed to them. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Damn it, that would make me so angry.
Yeah.
Because we came in, I think we were like either fourth or fifth at the box office that weekend, but only taking in like $3 million or $2.3 million.
Yeah.
Which,
Passion of the Christ took in like $25 million a day.
Yeah.
It was like ridiculous.
That's insane.
Yeah, like 2 through 10 on the top 10 that weekend all got crushed. And so it was just like the studio was pissed at us. The reviews were bad. Like nothing went right. We're trying to figure out, literally it's Monday, we're trying to figure out how to regroup. Kevin's all pissed off. The reviews are so shitty. And he's like, they want to say something fucking sophomore. We should make a movie called fucking Beer Fest or something. And we all stopped. We're like, holy fucking shit. There it is. That's the idea.
That's a good idea.
Are you serious? That's great.
Yeah. It's like, make a fucking beer competition movie.
Yeah. Well, it was like the original thing was that like brothers go to Oktoberfest and get kicked out of Oktoberfest and decide to start a competing Oktoberfest in the States. And their hook, the way they're going to get a little one-up on Oktoberfest is they're going to allow underage drinking. and to do that, they're going to have it on an Indian reservation to skirt the rules. And we were like into this, and then we're like, wait a second. We can't have 10 million people at this thing. We have to, for the budget, we have to make it a small movie.
Of underage drinkers.
Yeah. So we changed it to Bloodsport. Like we loved the movie Bloodsport. And we were like,
Bloodsport's such a great fucking movie.
great.
It's such a great fucking movie.
Kumite.
I talk about Bloodsport so much in my stand-up
Oh,
that
do
is
you?
under
Do you?
that is.
Really?
Oh yeah, like when I used to have to do this joke about getting into a fight, and I was like, what? Like I made a joke about a punch, and I did the double punch.
Yeah.
That huh.
Yeah.
And you love when someone gets the reference, and you're like, oh. The Beer Fest opened on Comedy Central, premiered on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
On February 9th, 2009.
Okay. How do you know that?
Because my hour special followed it.
Sweet.
Oh, wow.
Yep, my hour special came right after it. They're like, "You got the best lead in possible."
That's awesome,
It's a
man.
great freaking movie, Beer
Was
Fest.
it a good lead in or no?
Yeah, I can tell you what your numbers were above. Because I can tell you what my numbers were, but yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I got 1.9 million people watched. That's my hour
awesome.
special,
Jeez,
and they're
that's
like, "You had a good lead in," because Beer Fest killed it.
Oh, great.
And like you guys had, I think, want to say like 3 million.
Oh man,
great.
Or something higher than that.
Yeah,
But
it still plays on Comedy Central.
It's amazing. It's like almost like you guys are making cult classics all the time, like in a Harvey Korman-esque kind of way, without ever trying to be Harvey Korman.
Yeah.
Like anything you make is something that everyone's going to watch like 100 times.
Yeah.
It's like like Doug Benson.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Doug, when I first met Doug, I paid him. He was like, paid me a really nice compliment, but I didn't. It's a backhanded compliment, but it's the compliment that we all want to have. Is I saw Super High Me 100 times.
Yeah.
Because he did a great deal. It was one of the best business moves he could have done, because he did a deal with G4, I think, and they just played the shit out of it.
Yeah,
And so all of a sudden you become really friendly. Like you guys came over, and I was like, I'm in the backyard, and I'm like cleaning it up, because I was like, these are guys I've watched 100 times, and then I was like, I wonder if they're going to be bigger than I wonder if they're going to be small movie guys, or they're going to be college frat boys. Like, and then when I saw you, I was like, oh, thank God you're just as big as I thought you'd be. And
What about me?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, but I knew Jay was. He's like a 6 foot dude. Like he's a regular
6'1",
size.
I think,
yeah, he's a regular size
6'2".
dude.
Yeah.
Wait, so by regular size, you mean I'm less than regular size? Bert?
Yeah, you're little.
This interview is going south.
You're like 5'9", right?
I'm
What are you?
souring. I'm a strong 5'.
No one's 5'9". Everyone's 5'10" out here.
I know. But no, it's okay because he's the short guy in the group.
Yeah, you need.
I'm the fat guy.
You got to pick
He's
your
the
characters.
Indian guy.
That's my niche. That's my niche. There's nobody shorter than me, Bert. I get to play that part.
The joke I was going to write, because you tweeted, you're like, I just saw a picture of Bert Kreischer. He looks like a mean guy. Should I kick him in the dick? And the joke I was going to write back was, joke's on you. My wife's got my dick at therapy. but I was like,
Yeah. No. The nice thing about being the short guy in the group is that anytime there's a publicity photo or like anywhere we go, I have to be in the front. So every photo you ever see of Broken Lizard, I'm out there like that with my arms crossed, like in front, doing a fucking face or something like that.
So now, do you guys share like you guys? It's so crazy to me because like I came out with my buddy Eddie from Florida State. He was a fraternity brother, and there was a group of us that were all decided we're going to try to write a movie. Me, my buddy Obi, my buddy Keith, my buddy Eddie. Like we all kind of had the same passion. Now I look at them and Keith is now writing books. Obi's off the grid. I don't know what he's doing.
He's lost. Let's see.
He's definitely not listening to this.
Okay.
It happens.
He didn't have electricity.
Happens. Some fall by the wayside.
He's
How like when you it seems like you have an inclination or you know somewhat like what he is doing. Is he like just out to lunch on drugs?
No, he smoking weed definitely. He just it's like he takes the path of least resistance. Okay. It's like he came out to LA and it was like fuck it. Everyone out here is fake. I was like, yeah, but that's part of the gig. You got to get that.
Yeah.
He's like, the movie scene's booming in New Orleans. I'm going to New Orleans. Okay. So he moved out to New Orleans to act, and oddly enough, he's been in some big movies. In Harold and Kumar, Go to Guantanamo.
So he's an actor.
He's an actor, but he does headshots too, and then in doing headshots, I think you fuck a lot of young chicks, and then in fucking a lot of young chicks, you then just find your interests are more what they do, which is just getting weed and listening to My Morning Jacket. And so, but he still acts a little bit, but it's out of New Orleans.
Yeah.
So, and then Eddie's one of the funniest fucking human beings I've ever been around in my entire life. Eddie came with us when we went and saw Super Troopers.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, God damn it, man, why don't we write something? But there's a big difference between people who come up with good movie ideas and people who write them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, who is the one spearhead that you go, yeah, we're a great group of guys, but without this person, like, who's the one that's like, guys, seriously, we're meeting at 8?
It's changed a little bit over the years. Like, I think Jay was definitely the guy who was like, let's make movies. Don't you think?
Well, I think he definitely said, let's put together a comedy group.
Yeah.
And then we were doing the short films in our live shows. Like,
but I think that's the difference, though. It's like we were a performing group.
You guys,
know what I mean?
out of Colgate.
Yeah, and so it's like...
So everyone had...
Our whole thing was like, let's be in front of the camera, and then the writing came on the side. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, because I remember in college when we started the comedy group, like, Jay was the one who would come get us for rehearsals. The problem with Jay was that there was no rehearsal schedule. And so you'd be at a party, and he'd show up, and people would fucking hide, like, in closets and stuff like that, because you're like, no. His presence here can only mean one thing. and he'd come up to you and be like, we're going to meet right now. And you're like, fuck you. I'm fucked up, dude. Come on. And so, we'd meet. And then, but when we brought the show to New York City, we ultimately wound up shooting a short film for this another kid, an NYU film student, who had seen our show and asked us to write and act in his senior thesis film. And from there, we got the bug.
Yeah.
To
really?
make a feature film.
Did.
Yeah.
Do you don't strike me as guys that would enjoy single camera acting? Like, you strike me as guys that would love 4-camera live audience.
No, I like it. Why do you say that? I like it.
I hate single camera.
You do?
I don't hate it.
Because why? Because
You
it's
hate watching,
too...
you hate acting.
Because you don't get reaction, or you
I don't get reaction. I need the reaction.
No, I can see that.
I think it comes from stand up, but like I love the reaction. I love like I was very unsuccessful. I mean, it's fine now, but like when I will go to pitch a sitcom, I'm very candid. Like I'm
multicam.
I want to do. But oddly enough, my show on Travel Channel, single camera or 2 cameras, no audience. But but people are so in the moment. If you get them to laugh, they laugh.
Sure.
I watched your movie and I was like, I would be horrible because I'd be fucking breaking up in scene with you, going like, great take, man. Like,
yeah. No, but we do that. But that's the hard thing, is that you have to wait a year to get the reaction from the audience. You know what I mean? Which is the hard part, I think. Which is why we started doing stand-up.
So you guys, well, hold on, I want to talk about stand-up, but I also want to talk, so you go, in Colgate, you have a comedy troupe.
Yeah.
You're all
we had
of
like
the same
15
age.
people, and we started it there. And it actually still exists.
The group was 15 people.
Yeah. It still
Really?
exists, yeah. And
Yeah.
so we started it, and then we graduated. You know, we did shows on campus, and it was like there was nothing like that. Like nobody was doing like sketch comedy, and you can make fun of shit like the local cop and this professor
Yeah.
and whatever. Everyone,
Oh, you're
all the jokes were
murderous.
easy. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to have any universal themes. It was
Yeah.
like you can make fun of the niche shit that happened around campus. It was great. And then we moved to New York and tried to do the same thing, and it wasn't as easy, and we had less people. And so we just moved after we moved
What
to
year?
New York and started doing shows there.
What year were you? Did you guys move to New York?
91.
Oh, holy shit! So you were there like when the state was doing it?
Yeah, we were actually we were contemporaries with them because what happened was we were doing these live shows in the Village, and MTV had put out that they were going to do a new show. And so they were scouting groups, and we went down to the wire, and it was kind of us and the state.
Yeah.
And then they chose the state.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you run?
And then
into
we
those
went off and
guys?
made a movie.
Have you guys run into those guys since?
Yeah, sure, yeah. They were different, mutual friends and,
Yeah.
and mutual girlfriends and that kind of stuff that have gone over the years. But yeah, we've run into those guys. Yeah, I mean we're not friends with them, or anything, but
Yeah, there was the period of time where there was this whole question about Reno 911 and Super Troopers, and I think a lot was made out of it from.
So funny. I do not see the connection.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, I go, holy shit, that is right around the same time. But but that's so yeah.
Yeah, but people we would get interviewed, and people would definitely poke the bear, and like try to stoke us into saying something, and I don't know if it worked,
well, I know,
the
and then you
opposite
make a
way.
joke, and then all of a sudden it gets taken out of context.
Yeah, you can't. I
whatever.
guess you can't even
Yeah.
be lighthearted about it.
Yeah.
Even
But I
if-
mean, we don't have any issues. I mean, it's like we were in New York at the same time, and then 2 years after kind of we started, the UCB guys came into town. It was
Yeah.
like 93, 94.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of sketch shows going on around.
But it was
town.
also, it's like that period of time in the early '90s was independent film just exploding. I mean,
That's why
really-
we got that bug. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like Tarantino made Reservoir Dogs.
It's Kevin
El-
Smith and
Kevin Smith.
Rodriguez and Linklater and all these guys were making
Soderbergh,
these movies.
Spike Lee.
I ran into Ethan Hawke
Yeah.
at the LAX airport. He was behind me in line, and at first I thought it was the guy from Sugar Ray.
yeah.
They look
My
so-
brother saw them in concert this weekend. Sugar
Really?
Ray. Yeah.
I bet it's a great fucking show.
It was Sugar Ray and Smash Mouth. He went and saw.
Steve from Smash Mouth recognized me at a fucking at a Holiday Inn one time. He was like, "Bert," I was like, "Shut the fuck up, Smash Mouth." I was like, and then when I went to a party after night, everyone thought I was Steve from. You're the guy from Smash Mouth. I was like, no,
Nah.
but
So what did Ethan Hawke do?
But I ran into Ethan Hawke, and I was like, I thought it was Sugar Ray at first, but then I realized it's Ethan Hawke, and I turned around and I said, "Hey, big fan of your work. We're just very casual." And then I realized he was with fucking Richard Linklater, and I was like,
Oh, he was?
that's who I'm a fucking fan of.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, fuck Ethan Hawke in the mouth. I want to talk
Yeah,
about
Linklater's
fucking
awesome.
Dazed and Confused
Yeah.
is my favorite movie ever.
Yeah.
That's another great compilation, great example of a compilation, type movie.
He's one of the reasons why we made our movies. I mean, his lawyer was our lawyer, and then we got to hang out with him right after he made Days Confused. We hung out with him down
Shut up.
in Austin, Texas, at South by Southwest, and got to know him a little bit and hung out with him a little bit. And
Yeah, cool dude.
he's
Really?
a great guy.
Yeah.
Jay knows him much better than us. But,
Yeah, but that was so. I mean, these guys, it's like you hear about Clerks being made for whatever it is, $16,000, or El Mariachi, $10,000,
Yeah.
or something like that. Whatever these crazy budgets were. Reservoir Dogs, I think, was a $100,000 budget.
Yeah.
And that's really when you're a group of friends who are doing sketch comedy, and you're like, we want to make movies, and apparently you really can make movies. And so we raised $250,000.
That was Super Troopers or Puddle
No,
Puddle
Puddle Cruiser.
Puddle
Yeah, that was the
Cruisers?
first one.
That got us the money to make Super Troopers, which we made for $1.25 million.
Yeah.
That's still a lot of money, I guess, theoretically. But did you shoot it on film?
We did.
Yeah. 35
Oh.
millimeter.
That
Yeah.
must have been one of the last ones shot on film, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I don't know why. I mean, because most of those other films were shot on 16 or Super 16,
Yeah.
and then transferred to 35.
Yeah.
But we just wanted it to look as good as it could possibly look, to at least just come
Yeah,
out.
because the digital video was not. I mean,
It wasn't what it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they had the Canon
Yeah.
XL2 or some shit,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
everyone's
we
like, "This is the future."
Yeah.
I bought one.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I'll make all my fucking movies with this." I look at the fucking thing we shoot. I read all the things
Now
we
the
shot.
iPhone camera is better than that shit.
It really is. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Do you guys have Vine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys? I
We
gotta
haven't-
wait.
we-
What are your Vines, real quick? Because everyone will follow you. Because you guys will be people will be interested in watching new Vines.
Oh,
It's the same as our Twitter, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Heffernan rules.
And I'm at Steve Lemme.
okay. So yeah. So go check out their Vines.
Because
everybody.
we went on tour. We were in the Midwest. We did a week in the Midwest, and we got to fucking do this. And we got Vine, and we started doing a bunch of videos, and then we fell up. We came back home and we stopped doing them. So.
Yeah.
Oh really?
I did.
But we go on the road this week. We'll do it again.
I
this week.
vined last week when Derek Jeter had his first game back.
Okay.
I was vining his first at bat, and then he got a base hit,
Right.
and then stole or it was a hit and run, and then
Right.
he went to third, and then came home and scored. I vined 3 different vines. Like, the captain is back.
I vined the reaction to the Zimmerman trial.
Okay. For who though? Who's
For me.
reaction? Oh, your
for
reaction.
me.
Okay,
I videotaped me and I listened. The court finds and I hit Vine, and it said not guilty. But my reaction was, I realized how how sensitive my reaction was going to be, and I couldn't stop laughing. So I was like, I'm not posting this shit.
can't post it. Yeah,
I was like, not guilty, and I started laughing
So you
hysterically.
did bullshit. It was the real reaction.
Oh, it was the real. It was. I didn't know if he was going to be guilty or not because they came back with that second-degree murder shit, and I was like, "Oh, this kid's going to jail."
Yeah.
And then, but once it said not guilty, I started laughing hysterically, and I was like, "I'm not posting that reaction."
Yeah.
I was like, "This is too sensitive." And then
But
instead of
now
writing,
you've got it on your podcast.
yeah, fuck.
We don't edit this podcast.
So wait, you're born in New York City,
Yeah.
and you were
Yeah,
born
I was
in
born in Connecticut.
Connecticut,
Yeah.
nice.
Where were you born? Florida?
Tampa.
Tampa.
Okay.
Yeah, that Florida fucking shit. That
Oh fuck yeah.
it's real, man. Like
His wife's from Florida.
whereabouts?
Miami.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to college?
She UF. She's a Gator, Gainesville.
Sorority?
She was not in a sorority.
Did you go there? Where did you go?
No, I went to Florida State.
Okay.
Yeah, I was at Florida State
Which
for
what are they? The
Seminoles. Yeah. We were
Well, that's where Stolansky went for a semester, right?
Yeah.
One of our guys went there for a semester.
theater school.
Stolansky.
Wait, are you a
Yeah.
lawyer?
I am, yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
What did you think about the closing? I got to be honest with you. The closing
doesn't know
arguments.
the law though. He's a fucking terrible lawyer.
Would
I'm
you
a
be a
comedian.
great closing argument? Would you make great closing arguments?
I did. I remember I did a closing argument because when I went to law school, and I had one of the other guys, Eric, one of the Brooklyn Lizard guys, be like, you had to do a mock trial, or whatever, and then he was my witness, one of the Brooklyn Lizard guys, and so we had like a few little fucking jokes, and it's in front of a real like appellate court, federal court judge.
So you worked at some bits?
Yeah, we had some bits.
Fucking
We had some bits.
Heffernan is like a bit whore. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what we're doing. He just wants bits.
Right,
in
and it was
everything.
like it was a fake jury, and it was a real federal court judge sitting on the thing, and we had a few bits.
Yeah.
And they got some laughs in the courtroom, and after the judge was like, "Mr. Heffernan, I do not allow jokes in my courtroom, although yours were kind of funny." That's what she said.
What were your bits?
It was like we had worked out because it was like a whole thing where he was a witness who was being accused of murder, and I was his defense attorney, and so it was a whole thing where he had to go through what he did that day, and we threw in some jokes about like what he ate and like was it good, how good, that kind of just little bullshit things that you probably
Just to
shouldn't have
keep
done.
yourself interested.
Yeah, just to keep it a little fun.
I would be a lawyer had I not gotten discovered by Rolling Stone magazine.
You would?
I would definitely. My dad would have got me in some law
Was your
school.
dad a lawyer?
My dad's a lawyer.
Okay, yeah, mine too.
And like all my uncles are lawyers.
Yeah, me too.
And so it was like that was going to be my path. And my buddy came in. He went to law school, and,
Yeah.
and he had no plans of being a lawyer. But it was like what our dads.
Did you
wanted
go
us to
down the
do.
road at all? Like, did you?
Nope. The months before I graduated, Rolling Stone discovered me.
Yeah.
And so then that came out, and Benny Lazzaro's one of the top lawyers in the state of Florida. Personal injury.
Yeah.
He called me my buddy came in's dad. He called me the 2 days after that article came out, and he was like, "Bert," I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Benny Lazzaro, listen, whatever you do, don't let this go." I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Whatever fame's happening, ride this out."
Really?
You don't. Yeah. He goes, "You don't
Really?
want to be 40 years old looking back saying I didn't give it a shot."
That's
and I was like,
great.
"Really?" And he was like, "Yeah." And this was the guy that you would think would definitely say, "Go to my dad's.
Go to law school."
My dad's uncle, my uncle Jerry, who's one of the top lobbyists in the
I
world.
have an Uncle Jerry who was a lawyer.
Oh, he's a lot.
what if they're
this
the
one's
same uncle? Holy shit!
Holy fucking shit.
in
Or-
DC.
No, it's
Oh.
Connecticut.
God, dude, we were so
but-
close. We were so close.
He told me he was like you got to get into stand up. So now you guys are doing stand up now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wait, did you come out here and do like write movies or to come out to do stand up?
Stand up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got a TV show, and then I came out for that.
Okay.
And then I stayed, but I moved to New York to do stand up. I didn't understand that. I had met the state in Greece one weekend when I was backpacking through Europe, and I had met them. And David,
They were all together?
they were all together.
Oh, okay.
They were. I want to say they had just signed the deal with NBC or some shit.
Okay.
And they all came out to to have a sabbatical, and I met David Wayne.
Yeah.
And David Wayne, and I was like blown away because I'd seen them on MTV, and I was like, listen, man, I think I want to be a stand-up. So I'd just been in Russia, and I'd gone through this stuff in Russia that I thought was like I thought I was this legendary dude. I don't know, but I told David Wayne, and he goes, well, if you just got to get on stage and you got to move to New York. So if you come to New York, this is my number. I still remember his number to this day.
Yeah.
He goes, this is my number. Call me and I'll help you out. And I was like, great. I moved to New York. The only person I knew. Called David Wayne. He sent me down to Stella.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw Janine Garofalo perform, and I was like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Did an open mic, met Dimitri Martin like that night, and Dimitri was like, hang out with me. We'll work the clubs together. And then didn't do comedy for like 7 months, and then got on stage, and then I got discovered very quickly. But
awesome,
I didn't
man.
know that you could do this or that you could do TV. Like I thought you just do stand up and live in New York.
Yeah.
Like I looked at those dudes, I could tell, like, so I'll just live in the city and I'll just do stand up, and maybe you'll get on a sitcom, maybe, but like that's not a goal.
Because we were the total opposite. Like we did the whole TV movie thing and never kind of thought about the stand-up thing, and then decided later on in the game, let's give that a try.
Well, I don't know. It's weird because we were scared to do stand up. Like we had done sketch comedy, and we're fine with that, which was weird that we would be so. I was terrified.
Well, I mean,
for
stand up
sure.
is so much more bald. It's so much more naked. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
which
just
is what's
you.
so great about it.
Yeah.
But so, like, when you first went up to do stand, were you nervous or were you just a natural?
I guess I can say I was a natural. I was very natural at it. It took. I can only correlate it this. This is the only phone conversation that I remember about that is I did it at a bar in Tallahassee after that article came out, and I did it for like probably 200 people, 180 people, and I had to go last after 4 road comics, and they each did 20. I would never do that now. Never in a million years would I let 40 do 20 minutes and then me do 30 to close the show out. Right. And I did it, and I had played baseball with the guy who went pro and was a great baseball player, the guy named Brad Radke, pitched for the Twins.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And I remember when they were scouting Brad, they were also scouting me. Not scouting me, but I was there, and they were watching me, and I remember knowing I have an opportunity now to get seen by people who are important in baseball. And I remember thinking, I don't have whatever it has that he doesn't think about it.
Yeah.
He just does it.
Yeah.
He was so good at baseball, and he didn't have to worry about it. It just did it. And I remember calling my dad when I got done doing stand-up that night, and he goes, how was it? And I go, I think I found the thing for me that Brad had for baseball.
Yeah.
I go, I'm very natural. I didn't
And did you
write
tell
any jokes.
stories, or did you
Told stories. I
jokes?
just got on stage and started telling stories and talking and very.
Did people come to see you because they had read that article?
Yeah, because I read the article. A radio show had put together the show, and then I did stand up that night. Got off stage, and they offered me my own morning show.
Oh, wow.
And they were like,
Wow.
you're a natural, and I was like, oh, thanks. And then I talked to the dude whose show it was now. They're like, you'll work with him for a month, and he's moving. I said, why would you move? And he looked at me and goes, who wants to fucking stay in Tallahassee? I was like, not me now. I was like, fuck it, if I'm a natural, I'm going to New York.
And so you went right to New York then?
I went right to New York and started. I really learned how to do stand up in New York, which was it was really good because it is a lot of the same stuff that you have comedically is New York comedy is hanging out in a fraternity house and be able to make your friends laugh.
Yeah.
It's the same energy. I remember getting up there and going, oh, this is just like sitting in the lounge.
Yeah.
Like this is what that is.
Telling a funny story.
Yeah, tell them you. I will go. This is me breaking down comedy in the way my brain works. I went to an all boys Catholic high school.
Me too.
Really?
Fuck, Bert.
You guys,
We're like brothers.
I know it. What's going on, dude?
We should do a brother comedy.
I know we should. Damn it! I went to an all-boy Jesuit high school.
It's
You're Jesuit too?
Jesus
Get
Christ.
out of here.
It's
In
all
Florida.
happening
Tampa
right now.
Jesuit.
Connecticut.
Tampa Jesuit.
Fairfield Prep.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That fucking
We got some things. To
You
talk
and
about.
I should switch seats. I'll take
So-
that, Mike. You.
So I wonder if I grow a mustache if I look like Farver.
Maybe.
We had a part in Super Troopers too for Farva's cousin. I'm just saying.
Jesus Christ! Let me read right now. I learned when I went to Jesuit my freshman year that in order to sit at a table full of boys, you had to either be able to tell a story or chime in on a story.
Sure.
Because if you couldn't, you weren't allowed at that table.
Right. Yeah.
And so I real quick. I remember writing stories. Walking from like what happened in class. I need to have something good that happened in class to sit down to get my spot at that table. And I'd tell whatever it was. I'll never forget. the one that got the first fucking laugh, the hardest one, and it was a true story, but it is a joke, but it is a true story, is Mr. Mercandante said to me, I was sitting in the front row, and he said, Mr. Kreischer, when Jesus was nailed to the cross, he called up one of his apostles, and he said to him three words or 4 words. Do you know what those words were? And I did not know a thing, and I was like, I don't know. I didn't say that. I just sit there and he goes, Mr. Kreischer, Mr. Kreischer. And Ty Rodriguez leans up right behind me and goes, I can see your house from here. And I started laughing so hard. So
did you say it out loud?
What? No. But that was what. And then when I got to the fraternity, I learned how to deal with hecklers. Because you get into a fraternity lounge and they would destroy you.
We call it the House of Pain.
Oh,
yeah. Our place.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
It is the truth. Is that I'm going. We're going to talk to you about you guys soon.
No, it's good.
This is
Get it out.
My first night I did stand up. I worked the door at the Boston Comedy Club, and it was a very long story that I've told before. But it was my dad called me. I had no humility. It was my 26th birthday. I got a job working the door, and I wanted to be a comic.
What year is this, may I ask?
1998, 99.
Okay, gotcha.
And so the guy running it, Louis Schaefer, said to me, listen, if no one shows up at the end of the night, I'll let you go on. If there's still people in the room.
Yeah.
And there were 4 Puerto Rican dudes sitting in the front table, and they were heckling so bad they made Karen Bergreen cry.
Okay.
And Karen Bergreen stomped off stage, and Louis Schaefer sticks his head out the door and he goes, you want to be a comic? You're up next. and I walk up, and these 4 Puerto Rican guys start making fun of me.
Yeah.
And now mind you,
like the way you looked, or what?
I was white.
Okay.
I think I might have been wearing overalls. I mean, like there was like they just started, and I just went, "Oh, we're in the lounge, and I'm going to light these motherfuckers on fire." Yeah. And I think the first thing I said, I go, "Listen, in my act when it says, and then the dumb Puerto Rican chimes in, I'll point to you," and the place goes fucking nuts. And the one guy stands up, and I go, "What? You got to make a delivery?" And he was like, "No," and it was like, bam, 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 bam. I fucking lit these guys on fire. Right. They get up, they all walk out. Place gives me a big round of applause, and I'm like, "Yeah." Didn't have one fucking joke. I was like, "Who's up? Who's next, motherfucker? Say something. Say something."
That's fantastic.
So, but that training, like, still to this day, when I deal with hecklers, it goes back to that fraternity mentality.
Yeah.
Of having to defend yourselves in a funny way. You couldn't be a dick. You had to make other people laugh.
Yeah.
But but
it's an art. I'm sure you've learned, to perfect it.
It's
through
the one
stand-up,
thing,
though.
It's the one thing I will say that that you guys always need to be careful of, is that, like, not being groomed.
That's
like,
we always talk about all the time about how that is an element of our thing that's missing.
We didn't because we didn't make our bones that way. We haven't had to go through the hard knocks of walking out there with not a single person in the room knowing you, and you have to make every single person like you and laugh at your stuff. In our case, when we go out there live, when we started doing it 3.5 years ago, people are there to see us.
Yeah.
And so they're into it already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every now and then you come across somebody who doesn't know, and if they throw something at you, that's like, we are not prepared. We're not trained in that.
It's just in stand-up, you just have so many years where you do make really big mistakes that right now would be mistakes that would get any movie star fired off from a TV show, simply because it's like
the shit you
but
say,
yeah, but you're unknown at the time, so that it's no harm, no foul. It's like, well, yeah, he won't succeed, and so and you learn from those mistakes. And I'm not saying any of us have dropped N-bombs like Michael Richards did, but you learn from your mistakes. You learn how to deal better with hecklers, and you learn almost the boundaries you can take. And it's one of the things that you only learn by 10,000 work hours, is like how far you can push things and how far you can take it, and but I will say that falls on the shoulders of straight ground and pound comics that are guys that are in the clubs every single night, like Jim Norton's, Bob Kelly, like those dudes. And I only use 2 names. There's tons. Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Those dudes are club dudes. They're always. I mean, they do theaters, but they're always going to be club guys. You guys come by funny naturally, and you're simply going out and entertaining people. I mean, it's not like your guys are going to be like in like a really, like, you're never going to be, you're probably never going to do an all black room,
right?
And that's where those are fun.
Although you didn't do that?
I did.
You should. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It really puts perspective.
I didn't have a good time.
He's much more noble at it than I am.
Well, the story, it was just too soon for me, because what happened is we did the Broken Lizard tour. That's how we started. Broken Lizard, we decided, hey,
2009.
Yeah, let's try stand-up comedy and go out there and do it. Like, or return to our sketch roots, but do some stand up.
So all five.
All five of us, like it was.
That's so fucking cool.
It was great.
I can't even tell you.
It was like right around right for that writer's strike. There wasn't a whole lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
And our agents were like, "There's an appetite for live stuff out there. You guys have a fan base. If you guys want to put a show together, we'll set it up." And so the five of us said, "Let's do it." And we did 40 city tour.
Yeah.
And it was a
that's
blast.
gotta
And we
be
bought the Super Troopers uniforms. We bought the Beer Fest uniforms. We did sketches, brought people on stage, drank beers with them, and then in between, each of us did some stand up. 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there.
And we had never done it before.
Never done it.
Like literally, we did 2 warm up nights at the IO in Hollywood where we each did our stand up alone.
Yep.
Which was I found terrifying. But the second I came off the first time, even my first, I did 2 sets, two nights in a row. The first night, it only went well enough that I came off and was like, "Holy fucking shit, I did it!"
Yeah.
And that felt fucking great. That was all I needed. I mean, that's the beauty of stand-up comedy. It's like playing golf and hitting one fucking long putt or one good shot.
Just
the
one 3-iron that goes straight down the fairway, and you're like, "Shut the fuck up!"
Yeah, sweet spot.
Yeah, and that's all you talk about. You're like, "I drained a fucking 35-foot putt, motherfucker." Yeah, and that's like, "Did you hear my joke?" And so, like, the next night I did a different set, and that went over a lot better. And so that was all the practice we had, and then we went out on the road, and like, I'm gonna say our second show was the Montreal Comedy Festival. Because the first one was the Higher Ground in
Holy
Burlington.
shit.
Yeah.
And then we played the Montreal Comedy Festival for a theater of like 1,000 people, the one that Jay Chandrasekhar does not remember doing.
Yeah.
Which is pretty, you're thrust into the thing.
Into the heart of the industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And so then,
We weren't ready.
So then we get back to the States, and I tell our agent, Mike Berkowitz, I'm like, holy shit, I fucking love doing stand-up comedy. I want to do it a lot. And he says, well, let's just be clear about one thing. Like, the people coming to your shows are fans. Like, you need to get out there in front of a random audience and see what that's like, just to really get a flavor of it. I was like, fucking book me then. And so
I'm like, that's cool, thanks.
Hey, Mike, calling my avails to the improv.
yeah.
Which is what happened.
Yeah, so he sent me like a 6 p.m. It was like a teen tour. I don't know what it was.
Yep.
He
Hollywood Improvs, they have the teen tours where you can just light those rooms on fire.
Yeah, well, I didn't know how to do that, and the whole bit the set that I had written was all about masturbation, and so and so I've got these. Like,
They haven't masturbated yet.
no, or they have.
they have, but they don't talk
aren't
about it.
comfortable talking.
They don't share.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And I'm coming off killing it at the fucking Montreal Comedy Festival in front of 1,000 fans, and now I'm in front of this room of teenage boys and teenage girls. Like, the girls are looking at me like I'm the fucking devil.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not getting one laugh. I'm bombing. The other half of the room, and I don't know what it was.
I'd pay to see that. I'd pay to have video of that.
Oh, man.
It was the worst. But I called, and like Kevin was saying, the other half of the room was all black, and I don't know what the event was.
Yeah.
But like, it was. I think it was part of the teen tour. It was black kids and their parents. And I'm doing masturbation jokes. I'm not getting a single fucking laugh. I'm out there for 15 minutes. And it sucked. But I called up my agent the next day. I was like, I've got to tell you, that was a phenomenal experience. Like, bombing is just as fantastic.
It's so
in its own way.
cathartic. But bombing is one, and I don't look forward to it, and I don't embrace it. I don't love it, but man, it really is good for your soul.
Yeah.
Because especially like I haven't sincerely bombed in a while, but I've had rough shows.
Sure.
And just that moment of when you're like, fuck it, this is not going well, but I have a ton of shit I'd love to try.
Yeah.
Because if it does work, we know that's gold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's one of the great. My problem lately has been. And I wonder if you guys get into this. Like, I obviously have a reputation for partying and so what'll happen is, and my crowds drink a lot. Like,
same here. Yeah.
Like, so I have a problem because I will whip them into a frenzy fairly early, and then I will, and then shit will go off, and everyone's doing shots. Some girl's taking her top off.
Exactly
People's
the
trying to
same.
get on the stage.
Yeah.
Like, it literally.
We've had that. Yeah, because we used to start our two-man show off with a chug with the audience.
I do that.
Bring people up on stage.
I do that shirtless.
Okay.
I come out to Kesha shirtless and
But then
let the song
crowd,
play.
like, it's hard to bring them back down to do your shit because it's like a fucking riot.
I have had I have had problems with that probably twice.
Yeah.
But like lately, I just keep my shirt off for the whole show. It's been I don't my stand up is not. I have no idea what it is these days. Like it's gotten at a place where it's like sometimes I just feel like I'm telling secrets.
Yeah, but that's no. I mean, it is funny because it's not fair. Going back to the thing about it's not fair what we have done versus what stand-up comedians have done. Because
we cut our teeth other places, and we paid our dues in other places.
Okay, I mean it's not fair to ourselves.
No, it's. I'll tell you this. There are comics, and I know that comics listen to this, and I know that there's a conversation that every comic has. Yeah. I'm on the different side of this fence, and I had a conversation with my buddy Jeff Tate about this. He doesn't like when celebrities come in and decide they want to do stand-up. He doesn't like it because he feels like they haven't earned their way in it, and they're taking away jobs from good guys. I am on the other side of that fence in that if you guys decide to go in and do the Miami Improv or the Tampa Improv or do a one-nighter, but that for me, you guys bring in a group of people that may not be traditionally stand-up fans, and they will see the list of people coming in, and if they have a good time at your show, then they go, well, fuck, we should go see Bert. Maybe we'll go see him. So like the Steve-O's, Tom Greens, yourself, like guys that do stand-up. Jay, I know Jay's doing stand-up now as well too. Yeah. It's like guys like that, I don't really have a problem with it. It just puts more eyes on stand-up, and that's a good thing.
Because we have tons of people who come to our shows and like, I've never been to a comedy club before. This was great.
Oh yeah,
like okay.
A lot of people say.
But I mean, I think we tried to when we decided we wanted to do it because we had a blast. What happened was we did that show, we did that tour. We had never done stand-up before. We had a great time, and we're like, let's do some more. I'd love to do some more. And our agent's like, well, we'll book you guys if you want to go out and keep doing it. And so we're like, screw it, let's do it. This is like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, let's do it. We'll do the clubs, and we'll embrace it. And so we were doing we did like 25 weekends last year probably.
That's a lot.
Or whatever. And it's like, and the year before that we did the same thing. So it's like we're definitely like trying to pay our dues.
That's 25 weekends is a commitment, especially when you have another job in Hollywood.
Yeah,
that is a commitment to stand up because
and a family.
I probably do 25 weekends a year now.
Yeah.
Right now. Weekends, things are changing a little bit because you can do Thursdays and Sundays in different clubs.
Yeah.
So, I shoot for 20 weekends a year, and then I have
that's
my
kinda
kids.
what we're doing.
So it's a commitment, and but I applaud anyone that's got the balls. I'll tell you right now, Dave Foley, who is a very sweet guy, very nice guy,
super guy.
I remember watching him when I was young and I was starting at stand up, and I was working the door, and they all came in with Conan one night.
Yeah.
And Conan went up on stage and said some words, and then Scott Thompson went on stage and did stand up, and everyone was like, "He's gay." right. He was like, I don't know what he said, but I remember everyone was like, I didn't know he was gay.
Yeah.
And so, and then I remember saying to Dave Foley, "You should go up there, man."
Yeah.
And we were in the hallway, and he's like, "No, I'm not a stand up." I go, "But you're hilarious. Like, just talk, you'll kill." And he's like, no, I'm not stand up. Right. And then someone else egged him on, and Dave Foley got up there. I want to say he got up with another dude from that show, and they took a hot one to the chest. Like,
really?
And I remember going, "Whoo!" I like the kind of hot ones where you don't want to make eye contact with them after. Sure. And I was like, "It was good seeing you, Mr. Foley." And but he was like, "I told you I'm not a stand up."
Now he's got a stand up special.
Really?
Foley, that just aired on Showtime last month.
Really?
Yeah.
See, here's the thing: is that stand-up's a magic trick. Ultimately, I mean, now to become Bill Burr, Rogan, to become the gods of stand-up, but Louis C.K. It's something different. But ultimately, stand-up comedy is just figuring out a rhythm that you're comfortable with, and getting being open and honest and relating to a crowd, and getting past that first laugh. Once you get that first laugh, it's all downhill. I mean, in my opinion, now I've been doing it for
that's a fun thing that we've learned. What you just said, it's like finding the rhythm and how to talk to the audience
and how people perceive you. Awesome. You can't go up and be something that people, Patrice O'Neill did not. You guys know who Patrice is?
Sure. Yeah.
Patrice was not who he looked like. He was a smart Jewish guy in this big black body. That's the way his brain worked.
Right.
He was a neurotic Jewish guy.
Right.
And so, but once you understood that that's who he was, that spoke volumes about people. You're like, holy shit! I just judged a book by its cover, and it's not that.
Yeah.
But stand up is in a sense sometimes just getting people to understand this is who I am, this is the way I see it, and once you get that, you're fucking in.
Yeah.
No. What are you guys doing tour dates now?
Yeah, so we're going out. We're going to the Pacific Northwest this week. I'm not sure when this airs, but we're going to go.
I'll put this up today.
We're going Thursday. We're going to do like a. We've been doing the club thing, and this summer what we started doing was like just because we're trying out a different thing. We're doing like 5, 6 different nights in different cities, and we'll do either one night at a club or like a small theater or a rock club.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're doing. So Thursday night we go to San Francisco. We're going to do a night at Cobb's. Then we go up to Portland the next night, and we do the
Helium.
It's called the Hawthorne Theater.
Okay. Oh, nice.
And then the next night we're going to Seattle, and we're doing this place called the Sunset Tavern.
Nice.
And then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday we're going into BC, British Columbia. So we're doing Victoria.
Fuck.
Which is a place called 919.
Club 1919.
919. And then we're doing a place called Nanaimo, which I don't know anything about.
I've just started doing Canada.
Yeah.
I'm
And
obsessed
then
with
doing Vancouver.
Canada.
Oh,
Yeah.
It is the greatest comedy crowds.
have you been to Calgary?
No. All I've been to is Edmonton and Toronto.
We
You
wanna
gotta go to Calgary. We
Calgary
went
is
to Calgary,
phenomenal.
and
Really?
had the greatest time. What was that?
That's what everyone in Edmonton goes. Why didn't you come to Calgary?
Oh yeah, and same vice versa.
Yeah.
We were in Calgary. They said, "Why didn't you come to Edmonton?" Shit, I can't remember, but we can find out for you. The club in Calgary,
Oh, so good.
so good.
The audience were awesome.
Oh, can it? And
They
like,
were drinking. They were laughing their asses.
do you
It was
guys
great.
sell merch?
Yeah, we just sell posters from the movies.
Really?
Yeah, we sell Super Troopers and
Probably easy to.
That's the easiest thing
To travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just can bring that. We when we first started, we got like T-shirts and buttons and all this other shit,
Well, that's
and it was just a pain in the ass.
The money's in T-shirts.
Yeah,
If you got like,
but they bring those T-shirts around. It's such a fucking pain in the ass.
it's a lot.
but-
It's a lot easier walking,
It's not-
flying home with $3,000 in your pocket.
We can do that with posters, though.
Yeah,
We can bring a tube
yeah,
of
but you could
posters.
make. I mean, trust me when I say it, you can make a killing on shirts
Yeah.
because people love. I mean, the shirt economy, the shirt business has grown in stand up because stand ups now are making good shirts.
Sure,
like
yeah,
good shirts. I'll give you guys one of my shirts.
Yes. Okay, I'll take one of your shirt. Are you wearing one? Is that
No. No, this is from from the Spartan race. It's a great shirt, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, my shirt looks like this oddly enough. I'll give you guys shirts before you leave.
Okay. That's nice.
But yeah, man, it's great. So now,
Canada, yeah, I mean, we've been trying to get back up to Vancouver, get to Vancouver. We've never been, and so now we're going to play there next Tuesday. So
now 2 kids.
I got 3 kids.
You got 3,
Yeah, I got girl, boy. So I have daughters the same kind of age as your daughters,
Yeah.
and I have a son.
and married kids.
I'm married. I have a son, 18 months old.
Fuck that. Get on the road.
Dude,
They're not real until 2 years old.
yet.
Yeah.
You know what? I fucking love that little motherfucker.
Does
so
it,
much.
I've been talking about this on stage, and I don't know the right way to approach it because I'm halfway there, but I don't. Like, my point is, I really didn't know I'd love them this much.
Yeah.
Like, I really thought kids were like a 1950s sitcom. See you later, champ.
Yeah.
All right, Pop. Like, I
Yeah.
thought that would be the emotional connection. I knew I loved my dad, but I didn't need him.
Yeah.
You know, like, I needed him, but I didn't know that I needed him.
Yeah.
I need these fucking kids. Like,
Oh, I understand my dad so much better now. Like I called him up. It has to be like a year ago now, and I was like, Dad, I got to tell you, I'm starting to understand. It must suck for me to live in Los Angeles and not be close to you in New York anymore. He's like, you have no idea. And I'm like, because I can't imagine spending a fucking day away from this kid.
yeah.
You know, I made fun of my brother. Like my brother, I have an older brother. He was the first one to have a kid in our family or whatever. And I remember his kid was like maybe 1 or something or 2, and we were at a big family gathering. And he was going somewhere with his wife, and so his kid was going to stay with my mom for like a week. And it was the first time they had parted, you know. And he handed the kid over to my mom, and he just wept. He was weeping, you know. And I just started making fun of him. I'm like, what the fuck
Fucking
is your
asshole.
problem, you pussy? And then I had kids, and then you understand what's going on there.
Yeah, you understand. But it's not, it's
Your
like
heart, my cold fucking lump of coal in my chest.
it's still there.
It's like
Kev.
you were in the Matrix. You didn't know it.
I know it.
But you were in the Matrix. You were eating the steak, knowing it. You didn't know that it wasn't real yet.
Yeah.
And then once you get out of the Matrix, you're like, I can't eat that steak anymore. It's like being a born again Christian. That must be that feeling of like looking at people going, well, you just haven't been saved yet.
Yeah.
Like once you get saved, you'll know the love of Jesus in
No,
your
it's
heart.
true. When you have a kid, you do join a new club. It's that fucking parent club. And I don't know why I always like it so much. Like, I'll be walking down the street with my kid, and a dude will be like, oh, man, they grow up so fast. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. I didn't ask for your fucking 2 cents. But I realized that, because I do it to people, too. Like, when I see somebody, we saw somebody yesterday with like a 2-week-old. I was like, how old is that little one.
Yeah.
And they're like, just 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh, isn't that great?
Do you know which one? You know which one used to fucking kill me? Is I would take my kids on hikes up Runyon in the stroller, and then one in a backpack. And the one that you'd always get was people would see the one in the stroller and go, "Oh, I'd love to be her right now." And you're like, "Yeah, in a wheelchair, really? Is that what you want? Need someone pushing you up like Lieutenant Dan of Forrest Gump?" Yeah. But she. I'm like, if I see kids, especially if I'm on a plane and I'm drunk and I see a kid freaking out, I'm always like, "Hey, you need me to help?"
Exactly.
I fucking did that. A single mom came on. She had the baby in one hand. She had like the car.
And wait, let me just
seat.
preface this by saying that you got to know Lemme. Lemme was like convertible Audi douchebag.
You do have
He was that guy.
the Millionaire Boys Club look.
Yeah, before he was the douchey, like, you'd invite him to your kid's birthday party, never would show up.
I wouldn't even
that
respond.
Kind of shit.
I wouldn't even respond.
And then all of a sudden now he's like the dude on the plane that's helping the mom out. Right?
Oh my God, I'm the worst. I'm the worst guy. I'm like, I can't stop talking about my kids. He'll tell you that story in a second.
Yeah.
But like, I'm on the plane. She's got the baby in one arm. She's got the car seat that's going to go down the hole. She's trying to put the thing up. And I'm like, "Do you need me to help?" And she shoots me a look. And I'm like, "I've got one." I was like, 10 months? And she's like, "Yeah, 10 months." And I was like, "I've got one the exact same age." She's like, "Oh my God." I'm holding the baby. I'm rocking the baby. Now the flight attendant's like, "Oh my God, my hero. He's not the father." Everyone's like, "I am the fucking hero."
And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like we were in where were we? We were in Peoria. We were at the Jukebox. I don't know if you've ever been there before. We were doing a show. We were doing a weekend there. And he was probably like 3 months. His kid was 3 months or something like that, in that range.
Yeah.
And every time he fucking turned around, he's trying to show pictures to people, right? So
We do the meet and greet after the show with our merch. And there's
so we're in the merch line afterwards, and we're taking pictures of people, saying hi to people, whatever. And what happens is, they come say hi to me, and then they go say hi to him, and then they move on. And the line is completely fucking backed up. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I look over at Lemme, and he's got probably 10 random people in a circle around him, and he's showing baby pictures to the merch line.
I'm proud.
And the thing, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, Lemme, let's keep this line moving.
Yeah.
And then finally, he just gave them his phone. And then he went back
you
to the
guys
merch line.
through.
Yeah, flip through.
I did.
Flip through.
I did.
And at 3 a.m., I found his phone sitting on the bar. He was drunk somewhere, and I was like, I stole
Well, because here's the thing. Here's the thing about the kids, and that they don't like. Everyone's like, "Oh, it changes your life. It changes your life." I wish somebody would explain. I can explain how a baby changes your life.
Yeah.
But nobody did that to me, and so it's like that baby's born. And I did. I held him. I'm in the recovery room. I'm like, I love him. I love him. When I saw his heart beating in the ultrasound, I got angry. I was like, I'll fucking kill anybody if they ever. I'll kill somebody if they fuck with this creature who's like the size of a pea with a little heart beating, right? But I was like, okay, so I love it. I get the parental thing. About 2 weeks into it, I was telling my wife, I was like with tears in my eyes, I'm like, holy fucking shit, honey. No, I fall in love with him more and more every day. Every day I'm falling more and more in love with this kid because he cries. You got to figure out what's wrong. He's got the poop of the pit. Like, you're taking care of him. He was circumcised. You got to fucking dab at the cuts. Put the ointment on there. You're taking care of it. You come out of that fucking tunnel like, I've never loved anything like I'll die for this fucker.
Yeah,
I'll die.
It's the truth. I joke about it, but if someone came in with a gun, I'd be like, "Oh, kill my wife first. I can do without her."
Mm-hmm.
But these kids, I can't do without. I would definitely throw my wife to a bear in a heartbeat because it'll take a time for the bear to kill my wife. I can get the kids into a car and out of there. Yeah, my wife doesn't have the chance to get the kids in the car, and quite honestly, I'm gonna try to get away with the bear too. Now, but yeah, my wife, it's amazing. Just you get on, especially getting on the road. I'm sure you get.
Yeah, do you have a problem going on the? Does it hurt you to go on the road?
No, I don't know.
Well, every once in a while you want a weekend away.
No. It's here's what happens is that my kids were groomed on it. So when my oldest daughter was born, that weekend I went to go work with the Tell in Miami. She was born on a Wednesday. I got on a plane Thursday.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Okay. So it was I only know that, and they only know that.
Oh, okay.
So in a weird way, and all our friends. Are in the business in some respect. Their dads are either musicians or their dads are.
But at some point it changes, emotionally for you, regardless of what.
I just realized.
Used to.
I just realized the other day, and not to sound melodramatic, but I just realized how much I'm actually missing and how much I've missed.
Yeah.
And how much, like, my daughter's 9 and she is like a little girl.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
They make jokes to you at that age.
oh,
My daughter's writing jokes.
For you.
Well,
She gives some suggestions for jokes.
Yeah,
to
I
try
mean,
on
it's
the
like
road.
you're like once they start writing jokes, you're like that's a whole different animal. Man.
it's the way they like. Yeah, it's. But I started realizing just how much I've missed, and now I'm like making a very conscious decision. Like I canceled all my Sunday shows. I only fly on Thursdays, so I don't do press on Thursdays.
Yeah.
And it's definitely cutting into how much my earning
That's what we
potential
do,
is.
yeah.
But like I don't care.
It doesn't matter. You have the baby. You're like, all I need to do is put a roof over this child's head, put them through school, take care of them medically, and that's it. I don't need to be a millionaire. I
Sure.
just need enough to do that.
It's so funny. I don't know if I was thinking this today. No, maybe today. Maybe today I was thinking about, or yesterday about you guys. And my buddy, one of my buddies has a sitcom, and you guys do movies.
Which buddy? Let's just.
Steve Byrne.
Okay.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
on TBS,
Sure.
Sullivan's Son.
Yeah.
And I was like going through Gelson's today, and I was like, I'm in the middle of a bunch of other stuff, but I'm like, what if none of that stuff pans out? Like, am I comfortable being the dude who does stand up and works on Travel Channel, and that's the height?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm shopping in a Gelson's. That's a high end store. Like, I should really be respectful of the fact that I can pay for food.
Sure.
And I was like, yeah, I think I'm actually totally cool with where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need it to get better.
Look at the fucking man cave you got here.
Yeah, I don't need it to be like. I don't need it to be. I don't need to have the $1 million house. Like,
Right.
I think,
Well, first of all, this is a fucking $1 million room we're sitting in. God
yeah.
damn it. This
As
is
long
the
as I have this man cave, I think I fucking got it.
Don't care.
Yeah, it's an interesting. Like when you guys go on set to do a movie, you guys are doing a new movie. Can you talk about it at all?
Well, we're gonna do Super Troopers 2 is the movie we're gonna do.
Don't you have another one too coming out?
No. What are you thinking about?
What are
Maybe
you
it,
driving?
maybe it already came out.
Which one? Baby Makers?
What?
Are you talking about Baby Makers?
No,
Fat Man Little Boy?
no, I don't know.
Which one are you talking? What are you talking about?
Might be. I might have misread it from somewhere else. Something about Rockstar.
A rock star.
No.
Okay. So wait, Super Trooper 2 is coming out. When's
that's
that
the
coming?
one. That's the one that we're working on now.
Okay, and when do you guys go into production?
Well, we're still figuring out. I mean, it was kind of a long process where, there was a time where we wanted to do it, then they wanted to do it, and it went back and forth, and then there was a lawsuit, and so the guy who put the money up originally for the movie sued the studio, and so they didn't want to talk to us during that time period, and so now everything's gotten resolved now.
Okay.
And so within like the last month, and so
nice.
now we've written the script, and so we have to go raise money and to shoot the movie. And so that's the plan is this.
So are you guys going to do Kickstarter?
I don't know. I mean, there people are talking about it. There's so much blowback on it, but yeah, people
There's
are
so
talking
much blowback,
about it.
but it's like let the fans
I
pick the
agree.
product they want.
I agree. If somebody wants to kick in money, then that's their thing,
Yeah, this is different. Like the studio, the great thing is that the studio has agreed to distribute the movie. That's like the final piece.
That's
of the
the
Can you
hard piece
can you
to
can
get.
you put just for because I know that I barely know, but like for people listening, do the simple arithmetic of how a movie is made and shown and who's important and what pieces need to happen.
Yeah.
in terms of like financing the movie together.
Like-
I mean, well,
like-
usually there's the different in Hollywood. The studios like Fox and Warner Brothers and Paramount and whatever, they pay for the movie and then they distribute the movie, put it out in the movie theaters. The independent world, which is where we came from, is when you raise the money yourself from whoever, friends, family, whatever it is, you make the movie and then you sell it to the studio and they put it out.
Yeah, and remember, and distribution, there are two parts. There's the production money. The studio will pay for the actual movie itself, and then they have to pay for the promotion.
Like the advertising and all that shit. So there are two big pieces of money that you need.
Okay.
And so basically what happened here with Super Troopers was Fox, who owns the rights to Super Troopers because they released the previous one, they said, we'll tell you what, we'll put it in the movie theaters, we'll distribute it for you, but we don't want to pay for the making of the movie. Like we don't want to pay for the budget. So you have to go find that money on your own.
So this is Super Troopers,
This
the
is
original
Super Troopers 2.
No,
Two.
Super-
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, Super Troopers 1, quickly. We made it ourselves for $1.25 million,
Yeah.
and then we sold it to Fox Searchlight at the Sundance Film Festival. They spent, I think, it was $3.25 is what their purchase price was. So our investors got their money back and made a profit. And then I'd say Fox probably spent, let's say, $10 million to advertise the movie. and they put it on, what was it, like 1,100 screens or 1,800 screens?
2,000, I think. Yeah.
Okay, and then they made the money, and then they put it out on DVD and did it that way. In this case, they're not gonna. There's no upfront money. There's no advertising money.
Which is why this Kickstarter thing is so interesting, because basically Fox said to us, "We'll put it in the theaters for you. You just have to go raise the money for the movie itself and for the advertising of the movie. That's on you."
Yeah, and by the way,
And if you can do that, awesome.
That's not an ungrateful position that the studio is taking. It's actually a pretty good deal, because what happens is, when a studio buys your movie, like they did at Sundance, they'll spend that money to purchase it and to advertise it, but then any money it makes is going into their pockets. And, for one reason or another, you're not going to participate in the profits. Just a bottom. Basically, it's a rule.
So basically, you guys don't have any back end points on Super Troopers.
No,
we do have them.
Yeah, but they're very we've never really made any money off.
No, because they can say, look, it's not that studio is doing anything that nobody else.
Yeah, it's just the way the business is run.
Yeah,
And
but
you
let's say
them.
that movie has grossed them like $100 million, and then you get the bank statement, and they say they're still in debt $3 million.
Yeah.
And so that means you're not going to get shit. So,
Which makes sense. If you have a company and you're putting out 10 products a year, and 6 of them are failing, but the other 4 are turning a profit, that profit is going to go into the entire company, and you're going to figure out a way to cook the books, whatever it is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so in this case, it's good because the studio is saying, we'll give you the biggest piece that you need to get your movie made, which is distribution. We'll let people see your movie. That's huge.
Yeah.
But you have to raise all the money. The nice thing about it is that then the money actually goes through us, and we just pay them a distribution fee.
Okay.
So conceivably, we could make better money this way. We certainly don't have any interference with the studio. Like, we can make the movie we want to make.
But you also have to pay for promotion.
Yeah. So
do they have a say in how much you have to pay for
yeah,
promotion?
so they give you a floor of you have to, if we're going to put it in this amount of theaters, you have to spend at least this much money for promotion.
Now, where do you guys know people to call to raise money?
Yeah, so over the years, you run into a lot of people,
Like Saudi princes?
Yeah, Saudi princes, hedge fund owners.
Prince Azwar Al Shaqi, that's your boy.
Yeah, he's my boy.
Yeah.
Wait, are you being serious about that, human?
No, I just.
I was like, there's really a Saudi prince that you guys know?
No.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys have to show up in the Super Trooper outfits and hang out with them at dinner?
The funny thing is, there are so many people who are fans of it. Like, any 35-year-old dude who runs a hedge fund right now is a fan of Super Troopers,
Yeah.
And so it's like we run into these people, and yeah, they're fans, and there's a track record for that movie. There are hard numbers that people can look at and see if it's a good investment for them. And so we're hoping it's not going to be that hard to go out and find the money to make it, because there's people with money out there who are fans.
Yeah, but the bottom line is the studio has said to shoot this movie you have to a minimum of $5 million to shoot and a minimum of 10 to promote. So we have to raise a minimum of $15 million, which we don't have that money. So it's not the Zach Braff. Like, the blowback will come. They'll say, "Oh, why don't these assholes just do it themselves?" We don't have that money.
Yeah.
I wrote a check.
Yeah. Yeah. If I had it, I would fucking do it.
If I have 15, yeah.
I'd do it.
Yeah.
But we don't have that. And so the Kickstarter thing actually seems like a perfectly legitimate way to do it. There will be some...
Because there's such a huge kind of cult fan base,
But our prizes are going to be fucking awesome. Like, we're talking about...
You get to make out with Kevin.
No, you get a 69 with Lemme.
Those are both good prizes. It's hard to say, which would you rather do, 69 with me or make out with him?
Definitely 69 with you.
69 with you.
Yeah.
Definitely 69 with you.
I raised like $40,000 on Kickstarter to make a documentary about me going on the road, and our prizes were ridiculous.
What were they?
One was work out with me in my man cave. Like, I'll take you through a private workout. We had a barbecue in my backyard.
And did you do that? Did you?
Oh yeah.
Did somebody work out here?
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah. We did it all.
How much did you have to donate to work out with you in your man
I have
cave?
no clue. I want to say like $2,000 or like $3,000.
And did you have a goal? What was
our goal was? I think our goal was like.
But you have to get over the goal.
I think our goal was $20,000, and we think we raised 40.
That's great.
And yeah, and
you
so
shot it.
Yeah, we shot it. It's we're still editing it. The guys who directed it and shot it were both editors, so they're now extensively going through. But things have changed because now Kevin Hart made his movie, and it came out and he earned $33 million the first week.
I know.
And they're and so I think we may try to see that. I don't know anything about movie business, but we may try to pair up that documentary with a theater shoot and
That's a good idea.
sell it to like Showtime
So
or
the documentary,
something.
though, it's not any stage material. It's just
It
you
is stage
out.
material,
Okay.
but it's me working on the stuff that is going to be my next hour.
Okay.
Like me telling, I don't know if you've heard the story about when I was involved with the Russian mafia.
No.
I robbed a train in Russia when I was a kid. And
How old kid?
22.
Okay.
And so I went to Russia and we robbed a train. Anyone listening to this podcast has definitely heard this story. But it's a very notorious story. It got me a book deal.
Okay.
Got me a tentative movie deal, and so it's a really great story. But I started telling that story right when this documentary started. I started telling it on stage.
Okay.
And so the telling of it on stage is really like you really see how the progression of how much better it gets. Now when I tell the story, it's always been 12 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's 12 minutes of laughs from beginning to end.
Oh, yeah, I love
And it's
that.
got a
I love
really tight ending.
Yeah.
And it's like now people come up and they're like, dude, I saw you a year ago when you were telling that. The story's gotten so much fucking better. And you're like,
We have the same.
Well, now
fucking
is that
thing.
because
Yeah.
like you are, I would say, obviously putting in some embellishments or finding out? Like,
Nope.
Oh, so you're just
you want even
cutting
you want
the
even hear
fat.
something crazier?
Yeah.
Is people have heard it that were in that class. I robbed my class on a train. We robbed a train with the Russian mafia.
Okay.
I did by myself, and then we robbed my class too. And people that were in that class are now posting on Facebook since they've heard that, and they're like, by the way, I'm one of Bert's classmates. That's 100% true. And so it's gotten it's gotten even like.
Did you hold them up with a fucking bandana and a gun?
No, we robbed him at night, just like any European train robbery. You never robbed a train in Europe? Come on, guys. Come on, man. We gassed him. So,
What a rube I am.
but
I'm sorry to embarrass us,
Live your
Kevin.
life, Lemmy.
no, but it in telling it, what I've done is I've simply learned what works, what doesn't work.
Sure.
Like I used to when I first told it,
Based
I
on
never.
audience response.
Yep.
Based on-
And then you do something one time, and then someone says something to you. Like there's a moment where I robbed the bar cart, and the teacher's yelling at me, and she's in front of these two gangsters. She's like, "That's so inappropriate, mister. You stand up right now." And then the big gangster, Igor, takes a sip of vodka and spits it in her eye and says, "No one talks to the machine like that." And so, but I used to say face, and then one night I said eye, and I got a big laugh. And this kid I was with pulled me aside and he goes, "Just so you know, man, you've been saying face the whole time, but when you said eye, it got big laughs. Now it's fucking eye every single time."
sure,
and then
yeah,
and then you just learn the pacing of it. You learn what got the laugh. You learn. And, a lot of it was I got tired of telling it, and I just started saying, guys, we're going to take the long and windy road and tell the story a new way and see if I can find something else. So I tell it back to end. I tell it front to, I'd start in the middle, tell you, like I tried it every way to do it. But
Because that's okay. So that goes to a point that I think is the irony of stand-up comedy. And now, see, Kevin has heard this a million times out of my mouth.
That's okay.
But like, stand-up comedians, your whole goal is to put together your 45 minutes or your hour, whatever it is, so you can either go headline or you can shoot a special.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And so it's that. You have to figure out how to make your set as tight as possible and nail it, which is what we're all doing, and I love that. There's nothing like standing out there and just killing it for 45 minutes or an hour or something. On the other hand, it goes like against everything that we talked about at the beginning, which is like the thrill of going out there not knowing if something's going to work. You do it and it gets a huge laugh and you're like, wow, that was fucking awesome. Or you don't and you're like, I'm never going to use that again. Mm-hmm. Which to me is the true adrenaline thrill of stand-up comedy. And so it always seems to me that like heading to that place that you're talking about, it like runs counter to what is the true joy of stand-up comedy, which is like at a certain point you are going to get, you're not doing the true thing that makes you love it.
Well, because you keep doing it over and over again?
Well, because now you're out there at a certain point, especially like when you get to that final show where you're shooting your special or something, you're out
it's
there.
a very interesting perspective in that the product that you're going to show show America is not actually what you've been doing for a year, and it's not what you enjoy doing. It is simply a reflection of what it should look like.
But it's fine, though.
It's
it's all good. There's
Yeah.
nothing bad about it, but
Yeah.
like it's those when we shot a special for Netflix,
Yeah.
Fat Man Little Boy.
At the Punchline last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at that point we had been doing that show for like a year and a half or something like that. And it was honed and we did it. And it was always great. You'd go out there, which parts fucking really kill as opposed to just kill, and you go out there and do it. And then we started working on our new show, the one that we're doing now. And I had forgotten how fucking great it was to get out there with like what is potentially a big steaming pile of shit.
Yeah.
And go out there and you do it and you're like, oh no, it actually is a big steaming pile of shit. but it felt fucking great to do
But then
that.
you find the things like face versus eye. You find that.
Yeah,
those
like
things,
it's funny, and well, I think what the difference is, or not the difference, but the thing that I think a lot of guys get stuck in, a lot of guys get addicted to killing, and they simply don't have the balls to try new things. And I think that I definitely am on the other side. I'm addicted to discovering new material. I'm addicted to writing. I'm not addicted to, like, I write more. I would venture to say I probably write more than I have. I am so all over the map right now that if I did all the material I'm working on for this next hour, I'd be on stage for 3.5 hours, like no questions asked.
Yeah.
But now that's also the other problem is that when I go to tell a story, like I do a lot of storytelling, is probably the meat of what people are coming to see.
Yeah.
And so when I tell a story, it's like Machine Stories, 12 minutes. I fought a bear one time, and that's like an 8-minute story. I jumped out of a plane with Rachel Ray. That's a 10-minute story. So like these are like, so that's already like, we're already at like 38 minutes.
Right.
So what I find, like my last show, my Sunday show in Phoenix this week was one of my favorite shows I've
Where were
had
you?
in a stand-up live.
Yeah.
One of my favorite shows I've had in a long time. But let's just say none of that could be used for the hour.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a beautiful moment of the Trayvon verdict had just come in,
Right.
And I had this old black dude with his gaiters on and a big hat, and he was game, and I had an old white guy and he was game, and I brought them on stage and we played it. Like these are the things that people talk about, but you'll never recreate because it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
I said the premise of it was that if I could bring you two together, and I don't think the white guy's racist and I don't think the black guy's racist, but if I could bring you two together, then we will get somewhere. So I said, what we'll do is I'll tell the story of me losing my virginity, and I want you to simply do yours exactly the same way, but tell your story. It's almost like ad libs. And I said, I lost my virginity when I was 18. Mm-hmm. I handed it to the white guy, and he goes, I lost my virginity when I was 22 to my wife. And everyone cheers, right?
Okay.
I give it to the black guy. I lost my virginity at 12. And I said, mine was quick, uneventful, and in the missionary position. And the white guy goes, I won't share the events because my wife's in the room. Give it to the black guy. He goes, mine was to Curtis Mayfield doggy style. You're just like, this guy painted such a fucking picture that you're literally like, the place is humming. You can feel it hum with energy.
Yeah.
And you're excited, and then shots are on stage. We're doing shots. We play the songs that we lost our virginity to, and they both dance on stage. I vined it, and it was like, it was chaos. We get off, and it was like, and it's like, everyone's like, that fucking, you can't videotape like that. You're never going to translate that.
Yeah.
Even in documentary style, it's not.
Yeah, it's hard to capture.
It's hard to capture, but those moments are what the live stand-up's about.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, you know, but you're right. It is not indicative of what you're showing a product that is not indicative. My buddy Cowhead is a big radio guy in Florida.
Oh, yeah, in Tampa, right?
We met Cowhead.
Yeah, we've done a show.
Oh, he's in town.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in town. He's
Cowhead and Kevin had had their own love affair going on.
really.
Did.
Yeah,
We did.
he was so into Heffernan because Kevin was a bigger fellow, and he was like giving me shit for being a little skinny fucker.
Really.
Yeah, and
He's
he was letting me know it.
He's doing Steve Burns' sitcom right now.
Oh, is
Ah.
he?
Yeah.
Is he friends with him?
Yeah.
Is Byrne from Florida?
No. We're all. I toured for Jameson Irish Whiskey for a couple years, and Steve and I toured together. And Cowhead didn't like Steve originally. He was like, he's standoffish. And I was like, no, it's just Steve. Trust me. And so I think they're shooting right now. I was going to give him a call. And so we went to Ireland together. Me, Steve, of all the people at the Jameson tour, and then Cowhead show, and then a bunch of radio guys, and we fucking got. So we partied
Jesus
so
Christ.
fucking hard, and they fucking fell in love, and now they're really good friends.
Okay.
That
Did-
sounds. I mean, that's just a ridiculous trip.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing I will tell you that you that I would say you should regret out of not doing stand up is getting to tour with other stand ups.
Yeah.
and getting to know other stand ups, because it's one of the greatest things about this business is that I've worked with so many different people that all started at the same ground level. All open mic'd, all had to do bringer shows, all had to. That there's this common bond that when you run into them in the airport, you pick up like your fraternity brothers, and you're like, where'd you just come from? Like Phoenix, like shut up. Like Moshe Kasher. Moshe Kasher and I were texting Sunday morning or Saturday morning about our weekends. He was in stand up Scottsdale, and I'm in stand up live, and we're just going back and forth. And Moshe and I really don't know each other that well, but we know each other well enough to be able to talk back and forth. Like it's the only cool thing that I will say having started stand up that I'm happy about is this
No,
brotherhood.
I think that's true because like even to this day we travel together. You know?
Yeah.
It's like we're kind of insular, I guess.
Do you guys have? Do they bring comics to open for you, or is it just you two?
Sometimes we bring a guy. Sometimes they have. Most of the times local guys. Sometimes our show's like 85 minutes, so sometimes it's just like we just have an MC.
Fuck, I kind of want to see you guys live now.
It's pretty good.
Hopefully, everyone listening to this podcast is like, "Fuck, I'm in." My numbers are really big in Seattle, so hopefully,
Come
it'll
on to
big
the
pouring
Sunset
out.
Tavern,
Yeah, guys, say hi to them. Buy them a shot. Do you guys do shots still?
Yeah.
It's funny because you make a movie called Beer Fest, and that's what people just want to get you fucked up.
Yeah,
But we had a bad experience. Like,
Yeah.
where were we?
Kansas
Stanford
City.
and Sons. Stanford and Sons.
yeah,
In Kansas
Kansas
City.
Yeah.
City. And we were doing that club, and it was like the Thursday night show. And like the first night out, you're like, let's go big. The first night.
Oh yeah.
And so like the shots start coming onto the stage.
So the way our show is structured, in that case, was that Heffernan was going. We'd come out together. Then Heffernan would.
I'll do a half hour.
Yeah. Then I would come out. I'd join him for like a 2-man for like 15 minutes, and then I'd stay on and do the final half hour. By the time I got on stage, there were fucking empty shot glasses across the floor.
Yeah.
Where they had been. This is Thursday night. They had
It's that thing where one comes and then somebody gets the idea, I'm going to send one too. And then all of a sudden you get all these fucking shots coming at you.
Yeah. But then on my stool waiting for me were the counterpart to those empty ones. Like all these fucking shots. Which I then had to do. And then I had to keep doing more shots once he had left the stage.
Right. So he blacks out on stage.
On stage. About 10 minutes into my set.
And the owners are freaking out. I don't know if you know those guys, the Glaziers. Do you know them? Yeah. And
Don't say their name. Don't say their name. They're going to kill us.
well,
they will
own
kill
the
us.
thing. They own the club, right? But the brother's freaking out because you're going way over your set, and he wants to go home.
Yeah.
And so it's like he's coming up to me. He's like, "Get him off the stage," and I'm like, "He's doing a really good job, man.
Yeah, he's killing.
He's killing, but he's blacked out, and I can tell. Tell,
But also killing in a different way because luckily the crowd...
Like the way the Elephant Man killed.
Exactly.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there a lot. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'll show you a picture of me and Ralphie shirtless in Nashville 4 weeks ago, and you'll be like, that's Elephant Man killing.
There you go.
Oh yeah, like because the crowd they did it to me.
Yeah.
Every
They're
joke is
loving
like,
it. They're fucked up.
Fuck yeah, they love it.
oh yeah, and I'm like, because the thing I don't even fucking remember that joke. Fuck you guys, fucking rule.
Yeah. And like, so the dude's like, go pull him off the stage. I was like, let me tell you something. If I walk out onto that stage right now, it's going to be an extra 15 minutes of him making fun of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not going to do what you want it to do, And he's like, I don't give a shit. And then
I can't use my powers for good right now.
I can't do it. And so I walked on stage. And
But
it was
he's
like
shit-faced, too.
Yeah, and I'm sure. And now he makes fun of me, and the crowd loves it. Now the dude just walks up with a flashlight, stands in front of the stage, and just hitting you with the flashlight.
Yeah.
And then you realize it was time to get off. Then you got off. You made out with the tranny, and then there we went.
Yeah.
Those are the stories that are the road.
Yes.
Those
See,
are
we've done it.
Yeah, that's
We're
it.
not
That is
cheating.
it. Let me tell you something. If I had a nickel for every time I had one of those nights where it was like someone in the Haitian mafia got on stage with a bottle of tequila, and he's like, "This fucker's drinking it." And you're like, "I don't know what accent I just did. I'm not real good with accents."
I like
Yeah. No, that was nice.
Yeah.
It sounded Haitian. There was Creole in there.
Have you guys done the Miami Improv?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Different.
I love the Miami Improv.
I
That's where I learned. That's where you learn you cannot go up with a set list. You need to be able to go in with whatever energy they're bringing in there and be like, whatever you want is what we're doing.
By the
Yeah.
way, the only N-bomb I've ever dropped on stage was in Miami at the Improv. And I dropped it twice because the first night I meant the word to be pronounced Niggaz.
Oh, yes.
It was based on a poster I'm not going to do it now.
Oh, please don't.
But there was like a thing. It was like the Celtics had come down and the whole cannibalism thing with the bath salts had happened. And there's a Miami thing made fun of it. So I just repeated their joke and it fucking killed because I said that word properly.
Yeah, it's like that word is so loaded these days. You can't even use it in context in a story sometimes.
Yeah.
But I will say, and in Miami Improv, if you can show them respect using that word, they will give you respect back.
Oh, well,
but
yeah.
that is a really thin line to walk on.
Well, that's what happened the first night. The Thursday
First night it worked. The next night you drop in the yard.
didn't work.
That's exactly what happened.
Oh, shut up!
He's like, afterwards, he's like, holy fucking shit, are you crazy? I was like, they worked though. He's like, God damn, please don't do it again. And the next night, I'm out there and I do it, but with an ER, and it doesn't even come out as it didn't come out properly.
Oh,
And then it's like, you know,
Your in-laws were in the crowd. And,
yeah, my
fuck!
in-laws were
Yes,
there.
this story could only get better.
My in-laws were there, and it's like, and you know how it is. It's like you're just making eye contact with every angry black person that has now heard you
Yeah.
do that fucking thing, and it's like a couple people have walked out, you know, the whole thing, and it's like, and you're fucking sweating.
Oh, and all of a sudden the Miami heat kicks in. You're like, I shouldn't have put sunscreen on my face earlier.
Oh, my
it's
God.
pouring down.
Yeah, but my wife is from Miami, and actually, like, I mean, the crowds are just,
Baby, you did good. Baby, you did good.
yeah, she, come on, player, you was alright.
She's
Cuban, my
I
wife.
was. Is your wife Cuban?
Yes.
That then. I'll tell you that after. So
No, go ahead.
your in-laws are like, I don't know, say what's wrong with it.
No.
I grew up with all Cuban kids, and it was like that's where my I think my racial litmus came from was
Yeah.
Cuban kids, and
Okay.
they were the least politically correct
Different,
of
yeah.
anyone I grew up with.
Oh, yeah.
But the Miami Improv, there was a dude in the front row. I went in, it was all Latino, like not entirely all English speaking crowd.
Yeah.
And I was the only white dude on with 4 Latino dudes in front of me, everyone doing as much time as they possibly wanted, and I had to do an hour at the end to close it.
How
And
long was
there's-
the fucking show? Like hours?
it was a nightmare. It was
Oh
a
my God.
cluster fuck.
Okay.
And but I learned that I was working on material, and the first night I bombed. Second night I bombed. Third night, and I'm talking like I can promise you don't know what this bombing's like yet. Like this bombing is, hey, I know I'm actually pretty good at this, but I can't fix it. Like I'm a mechanic under a car going, my thumbs aren't working. So, and I start sweating, and so then the next show I go up, and this girl, and even my name sounded weird. It was like, keep it going for Bert Kreischer, and so this girl goes, I get out, and she goes, just show us your dick, and I was like, fine. So the green room's attached. I go, meet me in the green room. Go in. I swear to you, I literally hand her the mic. I have no moves. I know I'm not being funny this weekend.
Right.
Hand her the mic, undo my pants, show her my dick in the green room. The mic is in the green room.
Okay.
And by the grace of God, she says into the microphone, it's humongous. And I hear the place go bananas. I'm like, oh, I walk out. Another girl, let me see your dick. I go, come on back. Show her another one. And she says, it is not big. She goes, it's bigger than my boyfriend's. Place goes bananas. And I was like, okay, so in Miami, anything fucking goes.
Holy
and I was
shit.
like, no material here, just do whatever. But that bombing in Miami hurts. Oh,
Oh, that's that door. The door opens. The green room
right to the
it's
green
got
room,
like
yeah.
like a gate or something. You
Yeah.
walk- yeah. Okay, I remember that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah,
God,
luckily, yeah. It was fine for us because we had family and friends there. They supported us, but there's nothing like I find. The guys who aren't into your show, they just tend to start falling asleep. It's when the girls are not into what you're doing, they look at you with fucking hate in their eyes.
when girls, I went and did something. I went to a country western concert, very big country western concert, and I had front row seats. And I was shooting the show, and the band up was like Kenny Chesney or something, and I was like, I started like almost being proud to like one of my producers, like I don't even care about this music. Like I could care less. Like how crazy we're up here, and I don't even care. Like I don't like it. I really don't. And I found myself becoming proud that I was disinterested. That I didn't like it.
Right.
Like
In the
I was
front
like,
row.
in the front row, and
Yeah.
I was like texting, and people are going nuts. I'm like, I'm checking my Twitter, and I was like, holy shit, this is what fucking chicks do to me. Like they go, I don't even fucking like this because it feels good to not like something. It feels good to be like,
interesting.
don't get it, as opposed to becoming vulnerable and being a fan.
I guess
and being
but I'm always like, why the fuck are you here then?
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my thought.
But like I watch girls texting now, and I'm just like, and like there's 2 ways to go about it. Tosh's way was just kick them out.
Yeah.
Like Tosh was bold. He'd just be like, you're leaving right fucking now.
Right.
And they'd be like, oh, and he's like, I hope you get AIDS. And they're like, what? And he'd be like, that's what I'm talking about. Who's next? And you're like, whoa.
Right.
And mine was always to be like, hey guys, come on, don't you like me?
Right.
Well, because, and this is, I wonder if Kenny Chesney had this experience. Like, when somebody's texting or I can see somebody doesn't like it, I just focus on them, not in the good way. I'm like, oh my God, they hate me. It ruins the entire show for me.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if like you ruined Kenny Chesney's experience. Like if he sees the one guy who's texting, he's like, God damn, what's my fucking problem?
Yeah. The fuck, this motherfucker. I watch Travel Channel. I know that fucking dude.
Yeah.
Fuck
And,
that guy.
yeah, no,
Probably from the north, that guy.
I ended up turning it around and going, I'm going to try to like this music. So I got a couple Bud Lights, and I was like, here we go. Then the Zach Brown band went on, and I knew the bassist. He went to Florida State. He was a KA, I think. Or no, I think he was... I don't think he was an fraternity. But he had a band, and I was like, all right. And then I was like, this is great. You know what? We have great seats. This is great music.
Right.
I was like, great showmanship. Like, and the beers are here. We're all having a good time. Fuck it. Right. So I tried to turn it around. I'm dying to see you guys do. You guys doing anything in LA?
We're trying to figure it out now.
I think in the fall we're going.
How far are you booked out now?
We're actually just you've got
September.
Yeah, a couple gigs in September.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I mean we talked to our agent about getting us doing San Diego again, doing some Irvine, some Brea.
Who you guys with?
Berkowitz.
Is that CAA?
APA.
Okay.
Yeah. For stand up. And
are you guys all represented together for Broken Lizard?
No, we're in all different places now.
Really?
It actually, it's like when we were all at the same agency, you had this thing where like if they were going to send you out on a talent audition, you'd all go on the same audition.
Like you'd walk into the waiting room and it'd be him, me, and then the next guy. And that's kind of a weird.
Yeah.
You know.
We're with the same agent now. We're with UTA, and it was funny.
Who are you with? Don't say his name. Don't say his name, because I might be with him and not remember it.
It's that guy,
I love UTA.
It's that guy.
I absolutely love. I'm with them across the board. I just left CAA for them, not just, but
Did they do
I couldn't
your
be
booking
fucking
stuff?
happier. No, that was my
live
that was
comedy stuff?
My booking, yeah. Heidi does my booking.
Okay.
I love her. My book was through Paradigm. My travel deal was through CAA, and then. And now we're renegotiating. Ooh, I probably shouldn't talk like that.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah, we're
give away your secrets, man.
Yeah, we're free.
So the
now
UTA person books you live comedy.
Yep.
Okay.
Heidi.
That's new there, though, right?
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Did you dump someone to go?
Yup.
Am I not at liberty to discuss this?
No, I'll
Who were
talk
you
about
with?
it.
Is it anyone that we know?
Nope. Matt Frost. I was with him for like 15 years. He was like one of my best friends, and
The ICM?
CAA. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I met Heidi. I liked Heidi. I liked the guys at UTA, and I was not necessarily happy at CAA. I felt like it was a really big company, and
Yeah, sure.
unless you had a $200 million deal, they were like,
Yeah.
it was very hard to get them to pay attention. And I literally was like, you know what? I sat down at CAA or at UTA, my first meeting. And they sat down. They were like, by the way, we love your podcast. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, you guys listened? And they're like, fuck yeah, we listen. We want you to be a client. We're like, you're funny. And I was like, oh my God.
Right,
and I was like, those are the channel markers in life where you know you're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'll keep that on my right, keep that on my left, and I'll get to see okay.
Yeah.
Like, they have not made a misstep. Nothing but good stuff has happened to me since I've been with them.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And you like the way they're booking you.
I like everything about them.
right.
I like everything about them. I mean, my career, my stand-up in a weird way books itself in that I've been working the same 40 clubs for 10 years.
Yeah.
So like I can always work at those clubs.
So
and
we can't bring certain club owners up and talk smack about them.
No, you can. I'll talk to you about anybody.
Have you played Off the Hook? Captain Brian's Off the Hook?
Oh, fuck! Oh, what a great fucking... Oh! I've been playing Off the Hook.
Oh, boy.
You've done it more than once?
I did it. See, this is the one part you guys never got to, like... I did it when I really needed the money and no one would headline me. And he brought me down to headline. You had to stay in a condo that was really a house he was renovating.
Yeah.
And there was no electricity.
Condo's great.
And he was like, and you had to take taxis into the club. And they didn't have a stage yet. They just had a microphone. They hadn't even built out. It was just a microphone in what is technically half of that bar.
Yeah.
And people didn't know that there were stand up there yet. And you were just talking. They're like, who the fuck is this guy?
So you're not on a stage. You're at fucking floor
You were
level.
at floor level.
Oh my God.
But Brian and I got along really well. Brian and I get along really well. But I will tell you that is not for the faint of heart. That club.
Well, because it's funny because we were talking to Todd Glass the other day, and he just went and played it for the first time, which is kind of weird to us because Todd's done. He's paid his dues.
But Brian's club was Brian's a dude from the up north, I think.
Yeah,
Boston.
Yeah, he's got the accent.
And he's a guy who was just looking to simply take his seafood restaurant to the next level.
Yeah.
And so what that would do, in essence, is you do 2 shows on a Saturday night, and you're getting to turn your customers out.
Right.
So as opposed to people coming down and spending all night having a bottle of wine, you get to clear the room and bring in another group. And it was doubling his profits. Yeah. So it was a genius move on his part. And I think he learned the business through Joel, who owns the Miami Improv, and by cutting his teeth his own way.
Yeah.
But there are still things that club does not offer that a regular stand-up club simply finds mandatory.
Yeah.
Like crowd control.
Yes.
I had a dude.
Like people not wrestling with lobster claws right in front of you.
Yeah. It is not
A kitchen 10 feet away.
no,
That's
kitchen
open.
kitchen is a compliment. It is an open air raw bar. That is, hey, we need 2 of this.
Clang.
Blenders go off and but it is that's the road, man. That's what the road's like.
Yeah, we did that weekend. I mean,
if you got through it, then you can do any fucking club in the country.
But we're like, we probably won't go back there again. But now you tell me you've been there like 6 times, man.
Oh, I always go back. Brian, I get a kick out of Brian.
Well,
Brian makes me
place
laugh
is so
my
beautiful.
dick off.
The location's
His parents are cool as shit. The location's great. There's going down there is kind of like a vacation.
Yeah.
You know,
we went there. We met his girlfriend or whatever. I don't know if it's his wife now or whatever it is.
Yeah.
His second wife or whatever his girlfriend. And it's funny because in the club, you look and there's all pictures of her with the comics, And so she came to our Saturday night show. She's all dialed up, and we're like, oh, okay, we're gonna get our picture with the girlfriend up on the thing. And she walked, and Captain Brian walks up to us, and he's like, hey, my girlfriend brought some friends with you. They want to take a picture. And so we took pictures with her friends, but wouldn't take a picture with us.
She held the camera.
She held the camera. And we're like, oh, I guess we didn't fucking make the picture.
And then we're like, they walk out, and then we're like, oh, we're just waiting for her to get in and hand them the camera. No, then they just walk away. We're like, oh, well, okay, fuck it.
Brian's a good dude. He's and it's so funny. Like this is what I love about Brian is he doesn't see he's an entrepreneur at heart. That's what because he's opening a new club down there that you will definitely do because it's in a theater and it's got a podcasting place. You'll want to do his new club because he's closing that one and he's opening up a theater.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So we should stop speaking badly.
No, you're not speaking about anything that you said here to Brian.
But there's so many
Brian
fun
knows
things about that.
Brian knows. Brian's a very regular dude. He's a businessman. He's not delusional about anything. He knows that when I've had rough sets there, and he's seen them, and he's been like,
it sounds like everyone
they kicked you in the dick, huh, bud? You're like,
well, because the openers that are there who play it regularly, you're like, this is the club that people come to and then want to quit, and it was one of the first times where we saw them treat the openers like shit.
Yeah,
they were like, we're sitting back there, and they got the whole menu with fish and all that shit on it, and they're like, okay, what do you want? And we order something, and some fish or whatever, and then the kid orders something, and they're like, no, openers get chicken fingers. That's it, just chicken fingers. And we felt so terrible for the poor kid. We just ordered lobsters or whatever, and the kid could eat chicken fingers. We're like,
the food there is pretty fucking awesome.
It's delicious.
The food's amazing, and old school. You could have gotten Brian to take you fishing every day.
Oh, really?
That's old school Brian because he had a fleet of boats. Oh. He was the most successful fishing captain in Marco Island.
That's why he has the name.
Yeah, that's how everyone knows Captain Brian. Captain Brian. Oh,
you have to call him Captain too.
Oh yeah, he makes me laugh so fucking hard. I get a kick out of that dude. You'll end up wanting to do that new club, and trust me.
Where's the new club?
In Marco Island. He's
building a
theater. It is
a real comedy club,
like a bananas. He's gonna. I'm not gonna speak out of school, but I think it's gonna be pretty fucking amazing.
We didn't feel like Marco Island necessarily had our crowd there or whatever. We couldn't.
It was a lot of older sunburned
that is
folks.
That is the papered room. The papered room is what the majority of comics do for the first 8 years of their career. You go in, they just give away tickets, and everyone's free, and you've got to learn your craft at the hand of people that have this Caesar-like feeling of he's not that funny.
Did you say the papered groom or the
papered room?
Papered room. Because I thought you were doing how the British people the old time British slang is a bunch of thieves. You call them a bunch of tea leaves.
Yeah,
I thought
that's the brown. He's brown bread.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's a papered groom. Okay. No. What other clubs do you not like?
I would say.
Let's see. There's that.
Vinny,
we did.
Vinny Brand, the Stress Factory.
I've never done Stress Factory.
We did,
I've canceled 3 times on him. So like just because of my shooting schedule, but I'm going in to do it. But you got to understand, like I've never done Vinny Brand's room, but I know Vinny Brand's a comic, and that's an O&A crowd. Have you ever done Opie and Anthony?
Never. No.
That's an O&A crowd, and O&A crowds are they're comedy fans, but they're unrelenting. Have you ever seen Bill Burr's Philly video?
Which one is that?
Where he like goes at it with somebody.
When he goes at it with a stadium full of people,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he decides to spend 15 minutes to tell the crowd
Yes.
how much Philly sucks.
Yeah.
It's the greatest comedy video ever, and he's like, "Fuck you guys, you're pieces of shit," and I'm going to spend the next 15 minutes telling you why.
Yeah.
And then he keeps telling them, and he keeps going back. 14 minutes. I got 14 minutes left to tell you guys what fucking you threw batteries at Santa Claus. You pieces of racist, heart disease. Like it is one of the greatest, but that's O&A's fans is that like that
Hardcore,
like they're hardcore. They're called pests.
Yeah.
But they're good. Like when you go to like
They're on your side, and that's fucking great.
but it may sometimes sometimes they're not on people's side.
We did the Foxwoods Club. Did you do that?
That might be
Comics.
the worst. That might be the worst one ever.
Wait, comics in New York or
No, it's comics in Foxwoods, Connecticut.
I think I did, and I think I did, and I think I did it.
Drunk.
I'm going to say 2004 during the blizzard. Do you remember the blizzard on the East Coast?
Yeah.
That was the biggest blizzard ever.
Yeah.
I pulled in just as it started snowing. Fucking
It's an auspicious beginning.
no one in this room. No, there was no one in this room.
Right.
There was maybe 18 people.
Right.
And there was a dude in
We did it in a blizzard, and there was only 18 people. We didn't do it in a blizzard. We only had 18 people.
It was horrible, and it was like, and at one point there was a guy in a wheelchair, and I had a joke at the time about. See, it doesn't make any sense. Seeing the trailer for that movie Murderball. Did you remember seeing Murderball?
Yeah.
I saw the trailer, and I thought the guy said he got paralyzed from the waist up, but he said he got paralyzed in a truck, and I couldn't stop laughing at the premise of someone paralyzed from the waist up, just walking around, but like they could dance and stuff, but you couldn't communicate. Hey, lean him back so I can talk to him.
Right.
And I made that, and a guy in a wheelchair, like electric wheelchair, was like, "That's enough for me," and then proceeded to out of the room, and you could hear
Holy
his
shit, that's
his
hysterical.
scooter moving, and it was so uncomfortable.
We had like a similar situation when we were there, because what happened was nobody shows up to this thing because they're there to gamble, so they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
By the way, I love your body language right
Thanks,
now.
man. I'm relaxed.
Slouched
I'm
as
relaxed.
far as you can
I got
go.
the microphone right up in there.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So we're doing this show there, and Loretta Lynn, 89, is doing the theater, right? We're doing the comedy club, she's doing the theater, right? And so so what happens is she gets sick, and they cancel her show, and so they comp everyone at her show to our show.
No, thank you.
And we're standing there, and a fucking fleet of those scooters and wheelchairs and dudes with nose hoses and fucking tanks of oxygen,
Blue hairs,
rolling in, getting pit like, "I'm coming in here, but I'm not buying 2 drinks," that kind of shit. And it was a nightmare of a show. It was like all people in their 80s.
And our show's dirty,
Yeah.
and look, we're just starting out. Our show is dick jokes.
Yeah.
Like people are like, "Oh, anyone can do dick jokes," and we're like, "I guess so," because that's what we do.
I was my favorite line ever when I was a young comic. I heard Dave Attell talking about something about I forget what it was, but it was something. Maybe it was something a little political or whatever, and it didn't get a response. And he's like, he's got a dick. Why isn't he talking about it?" I fucking think that so much on stage. He's got a dick. Why isn't he talking about it?
I know. I said there's so many times like, am I talking about my dick again?
Oh,
God
we
damn
did.
it.
We had an assessment of our show for the Jameson tour, and they were like, "You guys talk about blowjobs entirely too much." And I was like, "They're like, you guys sound obsessed with them." I'm like, "We're 4 fucking dudes who are married. Yes, we are obsessed."
man.
Yeah.
To this day, I'll
At
talk
that
about.
Foxwood show, my uncle came, and he walked up to us, and he said, "Can I give you a critique?" He said, "Yeah." Not enough dick jokes. He's being sarcastic.
You know what would make your show better? A few more dick jokes. There are already so many. I know I'm being sarcastic.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's gotten worse. Like we've got more dick jokes in the new show.
I know. Every time I think of a joke, it's a dick joke.
So that's the problem. Is that I was listening to 95.5 the radio the other day.
What is that?
KLOS.
What is that?
It's a radio station in Los Angeles.
No, but who?
Oh, Jim Gaffigan.
Was it a comedy radio station?
No, it's a rock station. But like at 5 o'clock, they have like the funnies, the
5 o'clock
funnies.
Okay.
And so they had a thing about Jim Gaffigan was on there, and he was doing a whole routine about swimming in hotel pools and all the people you meet in hotel pools. There's not one dirty joke in this. He went on for 10 minutes, killing the crowd. They're loving everything. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, my brain doesn't work that way.
Jim Gaffigan was so fucking funny when he first, like when he was in New York and like not famous.
Yeah.
He would have jokes.
He was in Super Troopers.
Was he really?
Yeah, he's in Super Troopers.
Yeah. He was in the
He's
Meow
the
scene.
dude that we pull over and play the meow game with him.
Oh wait, yeah. You know what? I've known Jim for a really long time,
Yeah.
and he has jokes that I simply think about and giggle. Like every time I'm in New York going through a park, he's like, his joke was, "Hey ladies, back me up. Isn't it super sexy when you see one of those guys in the park and they got a snake around their shoulders with no shirt on and no applause?" And he goes, "All right, gentlemen, anyone want to buy a snake?" I'm fucking. So every time I see anyone has a snake, all right, gentlemen, anyone want to buy a snake? He's so fucking funny.
That's
Great,
but
but he's clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, in real life, he's super dirty. But like so that's it. Like
And really racist. Like no, I'm kidding.
No, but here's the funny thing. We always tell this story, but like Heffernan had a fucking rivalry with him, which came from
A unilateral rivalry.
yeah before we had done Super Troopers. It was 5 years earlier. We had our agents, and we'd be going out for commercial auditions, and Heffernan would always wind up being in the room going up against Jim Gaffigan.
And he was the I want to say in 2000 or in 99
Yeah,
he was
that was
the
then. That
he
was
was
it.
the number one salesman in the,
He
had
booked everything.
He got a
Rolling
title.
Rock,
Yeah.
Saturn, ESPN. He got every fucking campaign.
He's amazing
Yeah.
at being understated and funny.
Oh, yeah, he's terrific. But that's his.
And I got beat out on every one of those things by him.
And so he was fucking against this guy. He hated this guy.
I did. I hated him.
And then we got the guy's headshot for Super Troopers. He's like, "That's the fucking guy I hate." We're like, "Well, he's coming in today." So Gaffigan comes in, nails the fucking scene, nails it.
Yeah.
And then we're like, "God, I think it's got to be." the Jim
You
Gaffigan
gotta love
guy."
that too.
And he's trying to play.
All four dudes are like saying that to me.
And you do get a veto card in the auditions. If there's a dude that you have a fucking beef with,
Yeah.
you can be like, especially if you do it in advance, be like, "I don't want this fucking guy. I don't like this fucking guy.
Yeah.
Let's dump him." This was a situation where like that veto card wasn't powerful enough to destroy Gaffigan's fucking audition. That audition was so good. We were like, "Dude,
I tried.
He fucking crushed."
Tried. Well, the truth is, and I will say this, that I don't have any power at all on anything, but I know that everyone's respectful of like when we hire a new crew, everyone comes to me like. Because the truth is, you got to work with the person. You got to be living with this person for the next fucking 20 weeks, and you don't want to be around douchebags.
Yeah.
And if there is something I'm dying to guess who your veto cards have been, and I can almost guess them. I can almost give you names, and you'll go, "Oh yeah, that guy definitely."
Yeah.
But
So on the set, so we're shooting the
But
highway
they
stuff.
cast Gaffigan over my fucking veto.
Yeah.
Over my veto.
So now you cut to the shooting of the movie. The first week is the highway stuff. So that's when Gaffigan shows up. And, Gaffigan's in the car. We're all hanging out with Gaffigan, having a great time. Heffernan won't even talk to the fucking guy. He's off.
And everyone's loving Gaffigan. Like he's playing the fucking piano during the lunch break. It's like everyone's fucking loving
And we're like, "Holy shit, he's a fucking dirty dude. He's got a dirty sense of humor." And
hey,
like,
do you have an impression? Gaffigan?
oh, yeah. But he's over. You just see him like standing by himself at the craft service table, like angry eating, like trying to make himself seem like he's occupied with an activity, and we're just loving Gaffigan. We'd go over there and be like, "Man, he's fucking hilarious, Heffernan. You should come over."
So finally, they tell him the story. They're like, "Well, here's the problem. Heffernan, you're kind of Heffernan's nemesis. He would go for every audition, and you would win the audition, and da 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 da." And Gaffigan looks at me and goes, "Huh? I don't even remember you." And I'm like, "Fuck you,
Fucking Gaffigan. So that's our history with Gaffigan. I actually, though, it was funny because then when we were making Club Dread, I went to stand up New York Live, on 77th Street on the west side of Manhattan, and to see another buddy doing stand up, and Gaffigan was there. He was headlining. And I saw him beforehand. I was like, "Hey, dude, Super Troopers had come out, and we chatted and everything." But then the entire show, his, the little inner monologue voice he does was like, "Why didn't they put me in the movie? movie. Why aren't I in the next movie? I was in Super Troopers. Why can't I be in Club Dread? And I'm sitting there like, come on, Gaffigan.
But the full circle thing is the first and only movie that I directed. I put Gaffigan in.
The Slammin' Salmon.
One of our Brooklyn Lizard movies.
Yeah.
Gaffigan's in that,
Was
too.
Michael Clark Duncan alive when that came out?
Yeah.
Yes.
He died shortly
He
thereafter?
died. It was about a year.
Okay.
I'd say a year after it came out, probably. Or maybe 2 years.
No, he died last year.
Well,
right?
he died in 2012. Okay, so it's 2 years after 2009.
Movie came out in 2009. He was out for 3 years.
Okay, 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and super fucking dude.
Yeah.
Super fucking dude.
Yeah, we went around and pitched that as a TV show after the movie came out with him.
How come you guys haven't done a TV show?
We've always sold them and written them. We just never have gotten to the point where somebody wants to put it on the air, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, every year we have a TV show.
We've had a few Broken
He and
Lizard
I
TV
have
shows.
sold them the last couple of years.
Yeah,
to
Kevin and I have
networks.
been doing the last 2 years. I mean, it's like, look, I mean, the competition is fierce. I think one of the problems is we sometimes sell to the networks. Like the last 2 years, we've been at one of the major networks, and so
As opposed to a studio?
as opposed to cable.
Like
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So like, when that happens, I mean, you're literally reading like what is getting picked up to shoot as a pilot, and it's like, oh, the Michael J. Fox or the Roseanne Barr, or and you're like, geez, there's no fucking way. They're going for like these people, and they're giving they're giving order commitments to people, and so it's like,
Yeah.
that's a tough. The odds are stacked against you anyway to get in there. And then we've done stuff on cable, and it's like, I mean, there can be any number of reasons.
I mean, we developed stuff for Comedy Central. We developed,
Yeah.
I mean, all kinds. Just never.
But sometimes an
Never come
executive
around.
wants to, put a note on it, and they really want you to do it, and it's like you can tell it's just fucking ruining the whole thing. They want it to go a certain way, and it's just not the right way. I mean, whatever it is, it hasn't happened yet.
Do you guys have a Broken Lizard office that has like a ping pong table and a basketball hoop?
We used to. We had one at Warner Brothers for a couple of years, and then we had one in Santa Monica for a while, and then we went on that trip. We went on that road trip, and we were gone for 6 months, and we were like, "Fuck it," we just shut it down.
Yeah.
Never opened it up again.
Yeah. A year we were gone.
Yeah,
And then maybe even over, because then we shot that as a special for Comedy Central.
You shot the Broken Lizard tour as a Comedy Central special?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to go online and check that out. It's probably online, right?
yeah.
That's interesting. You guys missed that whole online period.
Yeah.
What the
Like just making viral, like getting a deal at like just making viral videos and trying to make shorts online.
Yeah, no, he and I have been doing that lately.
We're doing it
Really?
now. We
Yeah.
just got on.
We just
on
shot
the
a
bandwagon.
we just shot a web series. Me and him.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called. It was based on this thing. How we were going to play a club in Cleveland, and we saw like
club?
Hilarity.
Hilarious.
Oh, that's a good club.
Yeah.
It's fun. And we were in the airport, and we saw one of those guys who was like covered from head to toe with tattoos, like face tattoos, like not a spot on him that wasn't tattoo. We were in LAX, and like we're watching these kids walk by him, and like people are talking about him, and people are horrified by him. And we're like, God, like, what must it be like to be that guy? Like all these people are
Fully tatted dude.
staring at them. As it turns out, he's on our flight, and I'm sitting next to him. And like we don't sit next to Kevin and I don't sit next to each other on the plane.
Yeah.
Like just because we're sick of each other on
Yeah.
Sunday. And so Thursday we won't do it because we're like we're gonna save our fucking exposure to each other.
Right.
And so I'm sitting next to this guy, and I'm looking back at Heffernan like, holy fucking shit, I'm next to the fucking tattoo guy. And the guy couldn't have been the nicer guy.
Really?
He's talking about like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, and how like he wishes Simon and Garfunkel would get along
I did not
better.
see that coming. I was like more like Gigi Allen.
Exactly. Shitting on somebody. He fucking so like. He's a super nice guy, and we started to realize, it's like, oh, well, maybe he's covered with all those facial tattoos because he's insecure, and you get a sense from talking to the guy that he's a little insecure, and we decided, hey, that's a funny idea for a character, and so we made this web series about that dude and his overbearing, heavier friend, who was played by Kevin Heffernan, and we call it The Adventures of Fatty and Tatty. And, so we just shot it, and we actually aired the first episode on Electus, and then there was a union issue because we had done it, there was an issue. There was a legal issue.
Yeah.
Like everything else in our fucking lives. And so we pulled it down, and we've been negotiating, and we just signed the contracts. I just signed mine yesterday.
Yeah, it's going back up again probably next month.
Yeah.
So they'll air it.
Where
We shot
can-
6 episodes.
Where can people find it?
So it's on a YouTube channel, Loud.
Okay.
YouTube Loud. And so, and also we put it on our website. We'll put it on. We have a website, heffernanlemme.com.
Okay, here's what I want. This is what I want. I want to. Oh shit! You went full tilt.
Yeah, I just showed Bert a photo of me as Fatty.
I swear to God, I'm looking at that and I can't see you in it.
Yeah,
I know. That's the funny thing. Yet we have funny little conversations with it all.
How long were you in makeup for this?
in total, I would say 14 hours. It was 5.5 hours the day before we started shooting, and then another 5 hours in the morning. And then throughout the day, they just kept applying tattoos. Just
What does it say on your fingers?
Dungeon Master.
Dungeon Master.
DNGNMSTR.
God dang, that's insane.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah.
Here's what I want to do, okay? If and when you guys get Super Troopers 2 up and running, up in production, I want to come in and audition for real.
Okay.
And but I want to shoot a short.
Okay.
Where I want honest feedback about my auditioning skill prowess.
Okay.
Like where I'm not even like friendly, just like real. Like Louis C.K. did that to me one time, and it was so revealing.
What do you mean? Like he
just was like he was like he
told
goes.
you what he thought of your audition?
He didn't say it per se,
Yeah.
but he did. He goes, "Can I tell you, we're in a car driving from Fort Lauderdale to West Palm to Fort Lauderdale."
Yeah.
And he goes, and we're talking about auditioning, and he goes, can I tell you something that I hate after noticing, like, being through a lot of people auditioning? And I'd auditioned twice in front of him.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, please. And he goes, I hate when people come in with a bag, and I hate when they come in with a coffee, and then they put their bag down, and then they put their coffee down, and they try to do small talk. He goes, I really just want to see who the best person for this job is. Right. I don't really care about your personality. I don't care about any of that. I want to see if you're the best person for the job. So do the read, and then don't make it uncomfortable after we say thank you and you got to pick up and put on all your stuff.
Right.
Because leave it in the lobby. Just come in and do your read.
Right.
And
I don't
was like,
agree with that.
Really?
And we've been on the other side a lot. Like
You've been on the other side a lot.
I want to know the personality.
Really?
Like I like to do a little foreplay before we do the read. I prefer it that
With
way.
everybody or just people that are reading for big roles?
Pretty much. I mean, I'll get a sense real quick whether,
But
I
that
like
might
that
also
person
be-
or not. Or
I'm in your camp.
Yeah.
In the exact same way, but I think it might also be a product of making films, knowing that you're going to be with somebody for several weeks someplace, as opposed to a day player coming in.
Oh, no. It was for the best friend in his sitcom.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It was it was really insightful because then I was like, fuck it, I'm not doing any of that shit. And so I'd leave I'd walk in with without a shirt on.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't have anything. I'm in and out.
Yeah.
Like
I
a
don't care about
murderer.
the coffee thing, whatever. But I mean, like I don't. I find rooms to be very cold as an auditioner and as a person sitting on the couch watching people audition, and I like a little talk beforehand. And I'm not a small talky kind of guy, but I think it's
in fact,
nice.
you detest small talk.
It's a nice break the ice thing.
Yeah.
I think so. But people have their rule. Like I auditioned. I did Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Larry David is very kind of like people will tell you, he has rules.
Really?
When you audition, don't do this and don't do that. And I get that.
Yeah.
I just am different. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's like my feeling is that I've been in enough cold audition rooms where nobody's speaking, and you're like, the energy sucks in here, and it is making my performance worse.
Yeah.
Maybe there are some people who are like, we want to see how you do under the fucking pressure of the hot lights or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what I really want and what I think I can get more good performances out of somebody if I'm nice to them and relax them.
Yeah,
And let
that's
them
what I
know
think is the best.
This is
Yeah.
a safe fucking room that you've come into. Because the thing is, what I think actors don't realize is that, like, before they walk into that room, the job is theirs to lose. And I don't mean that they're going to book it, but like when you're casting somebody, what you desperately want is for the person to walk. You want that person to come in the room that is going to get the part. You want, like, if you're doing Super Troopers, okay, you've got the part for the bad cop that you're going to bring in, or whatever, the trucker you're going to bring in.
Yeah.
You want that fucking dude to walk in the room next. Like you want to find the awesome
You're looking for success.
Yeah, you want somebody.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
You know?
So I want to give whoever it is, because it might be somebody that, like, it's like I might have in mind, okay, it's a fucking big, burly truck driver, and instead John Hawkes walks into the room. That's the guy, he was just in the Sessions. You know him. He's been in a million, John Hawkes, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in, or whatever.
Whatever.
He's a skinny actor.
He's a little guy.
Yeah, you'll know who he is. He's been in fucking. He was in Eastbound and Down.
Yeah, anyway.
Oh, I know who you're
he's
talking
the brother.
about. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
The longest
he could
example.
walk in, and if I'm a dick and I'm making him nervous and he sucks, then he's going to walk out, and he would have been the best person for the part,
Right.
Because he would have done it a different way, and he would have been fantastic, and be like, "Holy shit, I love this fucking guy."
Yeah.
because he came in and nailed.
It's a bad enough process. You might as well try to make it.
It is such a
comfortable for
horrible
people.
process.
You know, it's a
it
terrible
is such
process.
a like. I actually almost entirely stopped auditioning, only because I was like I don't think it. It definitely doesn't get the best out of me,
No.
and it just like I'll do things that are like offers, like corporate stuff, like what is it when you do like commercial for
industrial.
Sony,
Yeah.
industrial
Yeah, yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and then like I'll do a development deal, but I'm not gonna like going in for auditioning. I feel like it does more bad than good for someone's career these days because it's like, and no one's getting parts. I feel like it's so
Yeah.
hard to book something.
Yeah, it's
I would
hard.
rather spend my time writing something for myself, frankly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm right now. My whole goal was I had someone tell me, I forget who this was, but it was like in a really great meeting, and they were like, "Can I give you some advice?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "No one's gonna be able to. You're not gonna get cast in anything. That's not the kind of actor you are." I go, "Really?" And they're like,
thank
"Yeah."
you.
It's like you need to be famous, and then you'll get in something.
Right.
I was like,
It's catch-22.
"Okay." I was like, "How do I get famous?" It's like, "Keep doing stand up, man. Keep doing stand up. It'll happen."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, it'll never happen." But it's not. I mean, I can definitely see the fruits of the labor happening around the corner. But like, I see a possibility. But now it's like,
I wonder if like Bill Burr, for instance, when he turned up on Breaking Bad, I mean, there's a very good chance that he went in there and whoever it was that either auditioned him or maybe he auditioned for Vince Gilligan in person, but like was a fan and was like, you know what, I just love this fucking guy. Let's put him right through.
I would argue that the latter is the one. I think that Bill is now someone that when he goes into the room, he gives a great read. They know he can get the job done. But more importantly, I think a lot of people have to realize, guys, we're hanging out with one of the comedic voices of this generation for a week.
Yeah.
We're going to get to hang out with him in New Mexico for a week and just listen to him rant. And like now when I listen to his podcast, I can put a face on it. Yeah. And it's like look at Chappelle. He started getting movie roles when he was getting famous as a stand-up. And I think that that's the way stand-up works. It's like I think once you get like Kevin Hart was getting famous and getting these roles, and then it kind of compounded. Now it's like now he can do whatever he wants.
Oh yeah. Now he's greenlighting movies. You know what I mean?
He's such an
Super nice guy.
Super nice guy. Such that like I started roughly with him. He started in Philly, but I was in New York, and we kind of met in New York. And I mean, just meteoric rise to fame. Like where you just go like, I remember watching one time. And I'll tell you this: there are a handful of great stand-up sets, and I'm not going to put Kevin's in with Bernie Mac's Def Jam or Bill Burr's Philly, but I will put Kevin's Shaquille Cedric All-Star Comedy Jam as one of the best sets of stand-up comedy I've seen on TV. He's following all black entertainers who are doing an all-black room, and they're all doing crowd work, and they're all doing dick jokes and pussy jokes. And Kevin goes up, and he starts doing material about his kids. And it blew me away because it was the first time I realized how I can interact with black audiences. Is that, look, we're all fucking people. We all have families. We all have kids. We all love our kids. Our kids drive us nuts. Our wife drives us nuts. And he fucking murdered. And he went last. And it was the funniest fucking material. And it was clean. And I was like, are you fucking shitting me? I'm like, here I am telling fucking dick jokes. I gotta write about my kids. I was like, I gotta fucking learn how to write. God, but. Well, this has been fucking awesome, guys. I sincerely was panic stricken. Because I love Meredith. And she's like, well, you guys, would you like to talk to them? And I was like, in a fucking heartbeat. But like, I'm not a really good interviewer. Like, I'm like,
that's what we like. It's to shoot the shit.
That's exactly what happened. I'm fucking so excited. You guys have an open ticket. If you ever want to do a podcast with me, if you ever want to come on, if you ever want to just. Like sometimes I'll have my buddy, my buddies are all big podcasters, and they'll come over and we'll just have beers and sit around and just talk. If you guys ever want to do that, I'll keep you on the email list or the text list and say, hey, we're going to podcast tonight at 10. Okay. You're more than welcome to come over. If you ever have anything you want to promote, please, by all means.
You should come on our podcast. We got a podcast. You should come on our podcast.
Fucking love to. Yeah, I would love to.
And then we can ask shit about you.
Oh, I told it all on this show. It's like I had Zane Lamprey. You know Zane Lamprey? Zane Lamprey was he did 3 Sheets. It was a big drinking show.
yeah.
Sure.
I had Zane on my podcast, and then I went to his to do right directly after I did his podcast, and I was like, sadly, I talk about myself so much. We've already covered this ground. But no, yeah, totally.
We can find different things to talk
I'll
about.
tell you guys the machine story, beginning to end.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that'd be great.
It's a good story.
Yeah, we'll have you on anytime you want to be on.
Hey,
we'll just invite. We'll pick a date and invite you. How about that?
Please, I'm in town up until Montreal, and then a little bit past Montreal. I got motorcycle lessons. Is the only thing I'm doing.
Motorcycle lessons.
Long story.
You're learning how to ride the motorcycle?
Yeah. Yeah.
For a part? Or for
Yep. Can't really talk about it.
Okay.
I shouldn't have said I had motorcycle lessons.
He can't talk about
Motorcycle Diaries too?
He can't talk about it.
Zen in the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. They're making a movie about it, and I'm the lead.
You're the star.
Hello. Awkward. Awkward.
You had me though. For 1 second, I was like, "Really?"
But you're going to you're going to Montreal. Okay.
Go to Montreal.
We're gone until then.
Oh, really? And then you come back then?
We'll be back in August.
Maybe after...
in August?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm around in August a little bit. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, say everything, any dates to promote. I'm going to put this up tonight. I'm going to upload this today.
Oh, good.
Put it
Okay.
up
Okay.
tonight.
So let's do. We're going to the Pacific Northwest, July 18th, Cobb's in San Francisco. July 19th, Hawthorne Theater in Portland. July 20th, Saturday night in Seattle at Sunset Tavern. And then we go Sunday night, the 21st in Victoria, Club 919. How am I doing? Monday night, Nanaimo,
Queens.
and then the 23rd, Tuesday night, Vancouver Fan Club.
Fantastic. So do me a favor, guys.
That's it.
If you heard them on the show, just go up to them and say, just give them a shot and go, the machine sent me.
Oh,
That'd be cool. That's a great way to find out. What, you know.
that's actually good. What if nobody comes up? Should we report back to you and say like it doesn't?
Hey, your podcast doesn't work.
Come on, Bert.
Step it up, Bert.
They'll, no. I know that I have a bunch of listeners in Portland. So if you guys are in Portland, I'm sure we'll have
Love
some
it.
crossover there,
yeah.
and in San
Friday
Francisco.
night. Yeah.
It's British. My podcast is fucking huge in Canada. Canada. Canada.
Canada.
Well, the name of the podcast is Hockey Moose Knuckle. So
Okay. Are you a hockey fan by the way?
no, I've never played in my life.
Oh.
I grew up in Florida.
Florida.
But yeah,
Yeah.
the Panthers. They won the Stanley Cup, right?
Panthers.
Or they went to the Stanley Cup. Florida Panthers.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, yeah, the Florida or the Tampa Bay Lightning. You got the
Oh,
Lightning.
yeah, the Lightning.
They
I've heard
definitely
of.
won the
Wait,
Stanley
who are the
Cup.
Florida Panthers?
They're the Miami ice hockey team, NHL.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Are you serious?
I can't tell if
he just lost all
I'm
Canadian fans.
I'm being dead serious.
All
I've never
Canadian
heard of the
fans are
Florida
gone.
Panthers.
Yeah.
I thought it was a minor league team.
No.
Are you serious?
They're real.
Shut up.
Yeah, they're Miami. They're the only 10 ice hockey players in the NHL. Like you see them, you're like, Jesus, they look
They
fucking
really
good.
stand out on the ice.
They're all Cuban and tan.
They're 10.
What are your Twitters at?
I am at Kevin. I'm at Heffernan Rules.
At Steve Lemme.
Guys, I sincerely thank you guys for coming over. I have had a fucking blast.
Thanks, dude. This
Us
was
too.
great. This
I
was
want
awesome.
to drink from you. Not today, but I want to drink from that tap one time.
Oh, we can
Tell
make
me
that
when.
happen. Oh, yeah, we can definitely make that happen. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
This episode was brought to you by The Machine.